Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been only a couple of weeks hiatus since we crowned ourselves the Open Series champion from Suzuka. And indeed, only a couple of weeks prior to that, since we crowned our limited champions of last season. But we're back once again for another round of Premier Endurance Racing League's GT3 limited calendar. Tonight, taking to the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain. And that means, for once, I'm on the wrong side of the pond for this commentary box. JP, this is your home turf, not mine.
Yeah, it is, dude, but I'm not a fan of Silverstone. I've been there in real life, and it's flat, it's boring, it's massively, stupidly big, and you literally, wherever you stand, you can only see one corner. It's absolutely bonkers. I'm not a lover of this. Give me Alton Park, give me Snap, give me Knockhill, give me anything other than Silverstone. It is what it is. It's the only GP circuit that can hold the F1 in the UK at the moment. And, well, some people love it, some people don't. And, yeah, I'm not a fan.
Well, let's take a quick look through the calendar for Season 2 in 2025. We're kicking it off here tonight with the limited calendar. Next weekend, we jump straight into our Open Series as well. Then we'll be on to the Bend on the 21st of September, which also, for the GT3 limited calendar, that will be preceded by the Open calendar on the 14th of September. Okayama on the 19th of October and 26th of October for the Open calendar, as well as Fuji Speedway on the 2nd of November and 16th of November. Then we'll get into 3 weeks of racing action from the 16th of November, back to the limited to Watkins Glen on the 23rd, and on the 30th of November for the Open calendar. Then, basically, it is 5 weeks in a row to finish us out to the end of the year. 7th and 14th of December, it'll be Open calendar, followed by the GT3s from Road Atlanta to close out season 2025. And we've got 6 races to get through in a short period of time here, JP.
Yeah, I have noticed as well that somebody can't spell Okayama on that calendar. But they put a H in it as well. Hohayama. So you got to say it like that if you're going to be a full Japanese. So, Okayama's going to be an interesting one. The shortest of the belts, and I think it's not one that normally gets used in an endurance round. They're going to do a lot of laps at Okayama, and they're going to be dizzy by the end of it. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how that one works. I think for me.
Yeah, it will be certainly quick and intense. We're through our qualifying session to start things off, and we've got our first pole sitter in Season 2 for 2025, and that'll be coming your way in just a few moments. We'll have the warm-up session here in about 50 seconds or so to cut our way through before we'll get into the 2 hours worth of racing sessions. But immediately on everyone's lips, there's a few bits and pieces that are coming in the new build that I know you're going to be wetting your lips for, JP. British car back in a new addition to the field in that Aston Martin, and I think that one is going to be embraced by just about everyone who climbs behind the cockpit.
Dude, I think that's the thing, right? The Aston Martin is great, and the Mustang GT4 is another one, is amazing. But do we really need another GT3 car? Like, is 9 not enough?
It's the Aston.
Yeah, but I don't care. Give me a new TCR. That's what I want. Give me a new TCR that's not out of date and that is actually still running in the modern day series. GT3 is great. They're the most popular series. It's just LMU 2.0 at this moment in time. And yeah, that's great. We've got another one, and it's great. It's a British car. It's an Aston Martin. Amazing. Awesome. But do we really need 12 or 8 or 9 or however many GT3s we've got? Do we really, honestly, Sky?
The Aston? I would disagree with you, but it's the Aston. So I've been waiting for this one for a very, very long period of time. So I'm very, very happy to see it. Right. What are we looking at? This is the Arena Grand Prix configuration of Silverstone here this evening. 24 degrees Celsius in terms of the air temperature. Relatively in the mid-range in terms of the humidity as well, 51%. At the moment, we are seeing 8 kilometers an hour in the wind. Sorry, my apologies. It's 8 mile an hour that we're seeing in the wind at the moment as well. So partly cloudy conditions means the racetrack is going to be relatively cool. 32 degrees Celsius in race conditions. So we hope that you are all buckling yourselves in and getting comfortable for round number 1 here tonight. 2 hours worth of GT3 racing about to come our way. And we will get the discussion going in the chat. You and Cher are already out there in chat, absolutely giving stick to each other.
We don't need another one. Like, we've got 5-year outdated TCRs and 10-year outdated dirt cars, and no, we don't need another GT3. I love the fact it's the Aston Martin and the Mustang GT4, amazing, but we have got outdated other series that you cannot do because the cars are like 5 years out of date, the series are dying, and yet we get another GT3. It is literally, and obviously, you know, this is what I do for a living, this is iRacing, this is everything else, and amazing, so blah, 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 blah. But it is literally trying to keep up with LMU. That is all it's trying to do. It's like, oh, we need another one. Yeah, well, of course we do. Yeah, we need another one. And just whack us in there.
The American bias is strongly showing, is what I would say.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's another $14.99 that people are going to spend on a car that they may use and not like, and then they don't like it, and then, you know, they bought it anyway, so now they're stuck with it, and yeah. And we've got diehard TCR fans who are crying for new TCRs, and yet we can't even get one.
I was going to say, well, yeah, what are you looking forward to? Is there any way to get BTC better accessible? Because I know
dude, I love BTCC in here. Love it. Yeah. It's got a hybrid system. It's amazing. It's being modded into other games as well. Like a Assetto Corsa, you know, I commentate on a league on a Friday that runs the Audi RS3 LMS. They run the BTC the season before. You know, full BTC cars, Focus and everything, BMWs, the whole lot. It was absolutely amazing. It was awesome to see these cars racing around the racetrack, and then we come to what's supposed to be the primary simulator, the most amazing one ever out there, and everybody loves it. And we've got 5-year outdated TCRs, and we can't even get BTCC. It's American based, isn't it? So we're going to get American touring cars. It's I don't know, Scotty. I've got mixed opinions on this. I think the update and the build's great, and all they're going to do is whack more processing power on us broadcasters, because obviously they've got new rescans, and how optimized are they going to be? Remember when Fuji come out, it was an absolute storm. It was all over the place, and I don't know. I think there's a lot more work in there than chucking in another GT3 just for the sake of it.
Yeah, and therein is some of the issues or benefits. Like I said, I will be banging that drum because I've been waiting for that Aston Martin to come to the focus. We're taking a little bit of a ride on board at the moment with Benjamin Brook as he navigates his way down through Maggots and Beckett's. And we'll tip onto the hangar straight. This is the joy of turning laps around Silverstone. We'll move a break here, and then the pit lane entry. We offer the exit to the right-hand side over here as well. 55 seconds left in the warm-up session, and then we'll get the opportunity to jump through our starting grid for tonight's racing action. And taking a quick look at the weather forecast for tonight as well. Will be no rain. Now, that doesn't seem very British of it, JP.
Oh, yeah, there's it's a shock that you're not getting rain, to be blatantly honest. It rains everywhere, and the only good thing at the moment, we're in this national heat wave that they've called it, like temperatures of above 25 degrees, and before you all go, oh look, we're in Australia, we get 50. I know, I get it, right? But us over here in UK, we start off as a piece of raw meat, we go out in 25 degrees, and we come out like a charred steak. You know what I mean? That's how it works over it. So, you know, I get it, but we're in a heat wave, so I'm not surprised if this is set to realistic or real weather timing or anything like that. Then that's why it's dry here at the moment.
Have a look at all the King with it. It's out there and on the track at the moment. That's down the exit, the run onto the old front straight, and that will be something that will have to be managed crucially, though, on the outside. The corner, cold tyres and management will be a big factor. Righto, qualifying is in, warm-up is done. Grid for the second part of 2025 has been run and done. Who took away your pole position? Trent Allen has managed to take it on pole position for Revolution E-Racing to start us off. Isaac Curtis will be lining up alongside of him. That'll be a significantly improved qualifying position and a step up to the pro class for him. Matt Webber and Jesse Butler will line up in behind those guys, Rue Koistra and Luke King. Owen Coleman, only good enough for 7th place on the grid ahead of Nathan Tapp. In 8th spot, Martin Hallinan and Luke Capozza, the first of the Challenger class drivers down in 9th and 10th. Edward Adcock and James Mason round out the 12 there, JP.
Yeah, 13th is Will Buchanan in there as well. Jamie Saxon in 14th. Trent Stapleton sitting down in 15th with Alfonso Latella in 16th. John Trott, Kurt Chapman in 17th and 18th respectively. Brad Coates, Brooke Kadai, Bobby Camus, Adrian Gretsch, Jake Robillard and Greg Heaney rounding out the 24.
Outside the 24, the 25th place, Ben Goringe, Greg Brooks will line up alongside of him for Evolution eRacing. Ben Wilkes, new entry to the series alongside of Patrick Red and Benjamin Brook. And Nick Bottrell are going to round out the 30. Nick Clydesdale, Mark Foster, the Foz all the way back down in 32nd. Brett Tucker from Sean Benici, Glenn Hopkins and Ronald Long to round out 36th spot.
Chris Ruddle sitting in 37th, Glenn Jones 38th, Andy Uden, him in 39th, Matt McQuarrie in 40th, then we got Tom Williams, Nathaniel Coburn, Dale Atkins, Brandon O'Loughlin, Matt McCamley, Ricky Provenzali, Nick Miller and Brandon Purcell. We're still going, Scotty, and we're right near the end.
Behind there, Stephen Mellis, Phil Whiteman, Kevin Simpson, John Lee, Jared Williams, Leif McClimate, Jesse McMenamin and Chris Withers are your grid. Of course, Lachlan Cable, ignore him. Part of the race controlling team here tonight. He is filling in on pace car duties here tonight, which is perfect timing for us to get through the grid because here comes the green flag and there's a big checkup on the inside lane. There's somebody who's got issues on that inside lane. There's a massive checkup and they'll all go scrambling. There'll be a bunch of cars back there that'll either have penalties or they'll be losing time for overtaking potentially. So they'll all feed down through into Abbey for the first time here tonight. The hairpin at Farm. Can they pull it up nice and accurately? They are 3 wide in the middle of the pack. And this is, have a look at the junk back there. There's a car off on the side. I think that might be Brock Kadai. Car around, actually, out of Farm. There is one car that's being rotated. Nick Bottrell's facing in the wrong direction at the moment. Once they feed onto the Wellington straight out of Village for the first time.
Yeah, lots happening here, Scotty. Lots happening. That inside checkup was a massive problem, and now is left half the back end of the field having a good old go with themselves currently. And there's people been round and everything. It has been a little bit chaotic about what's gone on here. I don't know if that start's going to get looked at. We'll have to pay close attention and see what RC messages come out.
Keep an update on it. There's going to be an investigation. I still have no clue what caused it or who it was the first car on that inside that got checked up. So that'll be a big part. But it was backed up quite aggressively. And then I wonder whether or not it was our race leader that backed him up all the way and then let go very, very late. And somebody jumped the start, I think it was what happened. So I've just gone back and found it. And I can tell for the guys that are looking for it, it'll be Edward Adcock gets a bump from Will Buchanan is the trigger of it on the initial race start. So that'll be the 281 car into the back of the 181 machine. Was the initial contact and checkup on our race start.
Yeah, I think that's the problem when you've got so many cars though, Scotty. The problem is that somebody does check up, as James Mason, who's trying to make a move in 10th place over Luke Capozza at the moment. This is for the lead of the Challenger class as well. Luke runs a little bit wide. Mason tucks it up in the inside through the right-hander on that run down into Hamilton straight now down, coming into Abbey. It's going to be a flick to the right-hander at the bottom of this. Who's going to hold it? Luke Capozza's on the outside. There's another one coming on the inside as well. That's Martin Hanlon having a go through the left-hander as well. Now into Village, Scotty. That's the swap of the Challengers, and poor old Capozza's going backwards quicker than he's going forwards.
But I think the thing is, right now, oh no, there's an incident, there's a car going around, and I can tell you that there's more issues in the background as well, because there's a car around out the last corner.
Stapleton.
Yeah.
Stapleton sat there. There's another rear wing sat there as well. So somebody else, whoever this is, Jake Robillard, I believe, has probably not got a rear wing on that car, or there's somebody running down that straightaway without a rear wing at the moment because they lost it in that contact. It come flying off there, and a lot of people making incidents and accidents. Robillard seems to be on a bit of a march here currently, but you know, it's all getting feisty here, Scotty. The problem is, with this amount of cars, how long is it going to be feisty for before we start losing people and dropping out?
Yeah, that's the big issue. I can tell you that there was a car out of the final corner that actually requested a tow. I believe that was the 727 machine which would be Nathaniel Coburn, who's currently in the pit lane. Yeah.
Coburn's in pit lane. We've lost. Who have we lost so far? There's a couple out at the moment. Is Chris Withers still going? Is Brandon Purcell still going? They're not showing us anything on my screen at the moment. And this is the problem. We've got that lead battle. Let's not forget as well. Trent Allen and Curtis up front with Webber sitting in behind them as well. There's a second, 1.2 between the three leaders. And look at the brands at the front. They're all Mustangs, which you wouldn't put out there together.
With the tyre update, the Mustang has been jumping a fair bit further forward, but yeah, you're right. I wouldn't have necessarily picked the Mustang to be doing well here. Either way, this little battle in the mid-pack at the moment is now going to go 3 wide down the front straightaway. Was for 7th spot. Was actually for 6th spot as Nathan Tapp manages to take that one away from Luke King. Owen Coleman's desperately trying to show a nose any way he can as he's going to dive up the inside as they get down to Farm. And he will defend that one off from James Mason. Won't get the job done on Luke King. And Luke King looks a little bit like a cork in the bottle. Like he had speed in qualifying, but he's just struggling to find that balance at the moment as the McLaren's a little bit edgy coming off of Village onto the Wellington straight.
Yeah, it's always going to be the same, unfortunately. Then we've got the Porsche of Coleman in behind Tapp at the moment. Tapp's got to get that car settled down. He's got to give it at least another lap or half a lap before he can start trying to go forward. We've got Capozas in the background behind these guys, and Mason's in there as well. So there's going to be lots of action in and around this mid-pack. You can see the groups on the left-hand side. We've got the top 3, then we've got 2 seconds to the next 2, then we've got 3 seconds to the next 6 or 7. Then it's another 1.3, then another 1.1. There's a lot gone on at this moment in time in this, and there's a lot of things that are going to be happening over these next 2 hours. It's 1 hour 54 to go, and they've just got to make sure that they can at least stay on the road, or at least try and pick up some positions before they start edging into that pit stop cycle.
Keep an eye on a couple of people. I was just looking for orange colour, and somebody just went flying off. There's a huge accident through Beckett's, and Greg Brooks is facing in the barriers with damage to his car. Something's going on there. Dale Atkins is also around. This is the problem. This is how we talk about this constantly. You know, you want to survive at least longer than 7 minutes before you do something stupid or crazy or put yourself... Dude, like, I am probably the most conservative driver when I do actually drive. I would not be doing anything like that. And this is the problem. Watch this. As you see Greg Brooks here. Is that back end going to snap on us? He's hit a sausage curb on the way in, and now it's just unsettled. See you later. Take care. Adios. I'm in the wall. And that was purely because of the sausage curb on the entrance, and he literally lifted up that back wheel, and he had no grip whatsoever. Penalty I'm seeing of the night as well. Car 14 has just been issued a penalty in the sim, so we'll get an update on that in the near future, which I believe is PJ Whiteman as well. Racing continues for King as Coleman is still trying to have a crack at him. Try and go the long way around when they get down to Luffield. And now this will be the run up through Woodcote, so he's managed to get the power down, and again King just continues to fall with the higher fuel load on board that McLaren at the moment.
Yeah, there's a little bit of battles going on there as well. Just going to wind up Jimmy in YouTube chat as well. Love you, Jim. Welcome in, son. King and Mason having a go at each other currently at the moment. They're going into the Maggotts Beckett's through the right-hander. Stay off that sausage curb. Stay off that one as well. You don't want to even come anywhere near that. Grab the exit. Stay away from them freaks. They're going to bounce the car like you've just found out there, dear sir. And unfortunately, now he's dropped back a little bit on the run down, hanger straight down into Stowe. This is one of the problems. Keep off the sausage curbs as much as you can, because you're going to unsettle the car. Take them all or leave them well alone, because you don't want to half-heart it. I can tell you that much.
You really want to try and flight the car if you can over them. That way it's landing once you've come back over the top of them. There it is. There's the update for PJ Whiteman. 15-second time penalty, causing an incident, and that was from one of the issues on lap 1. So, and there was a few of those. At the moment, front 3 have sort of broken away. Showing a yellow flag against
Tap's got to slow down. It's got a slowdown. It's a new slowdown flag in SDK. Basically, it's the yellow. It shows that they've got slowdowns now. You'll also see an orange and black if they've got a meatball, and then a black flag completely if they've disconnected. So that will also be there. No further action for Brandon O'Loughlin on lap 1, causing an incident. So fair play to them as we're on board with Butler, who's chasing down good old Rue Coyestra here as well. So Rue, welcome back.
Update on Rue. No, sorry, this is one of the incidents in the 225, and here you see the full wide moment as they went down through farm, and yeah, that was just 4 cars in one. Doesn't work. That was Bottrell getting rotated. It's back up towards the pointy end at the moment. And there's another car around that, Stefan Mellis, I think that's just gone. So it's Sean Benici in the McLaren. And in behind him, I believe it was Stefan Mellis that went for a rotate, who's now popped out slightly ahead of him. It does look like Mellis's car, and indeed it is.
Yeah, Stefan Mellis down in 45th. I can guarantee, if I've known Stefan now for, I don't know, blinking ages already, a couple of years it must be at least, and I can guarantee you he's probably been so busy he might not have practiced, and he probably didn't get into qualifying until very, very late. You know what I mean? It's just Stefan all over. But there are days where Stefan does that and he's absolutely exceptional. So, you know, it's hit or miss on what you think. He's kind of like an well, he's kind of like a maverick. You're never quite sure what you're going to get out of him, Scotty. And one day Stefan will be absolutely amazing, and the other day, yeah, he might have a bit of a shocking one.
Well, for the meantime, Martin Hallinan runs a touch wide at the final corner in his Mustang, trying to race with Will Buchanan. Have a look at where the Challenger's performing in the middle of this field as well. Kapotza leads the way, but it's only about half a second at the moment over Saxon, and then he's got a trailing field of about 5 of them, all within a couple of seconds at the moment. So there is quite an extensive little battle pack in there for the Challenger class lead.
Yeah, that's going to be happening as well, isn't it? Kaposa's in there as well on that one. He's fighting it out, of course. So the problem is where he is. If we can bring up the overall timer, the tower on the left-hand side, you'll see he's in that mix of everybody. There's challenges in there of him and Saxon. There's elites of Buchanan, and it's all just challengers, Hanlon and Coates, Chapman, Camo, Adrian Gretsch is there as well. Let's hope Gretsch has got enough fuel. Adcock's there at the same time. You know, so they're all mixing it in that little pack, aren't they? So Composers, all those doing well out in front. If he makes one mistake, he's going to plummet.
Yeah. So they're all, just in that little bit of a group. So for now, we just sort of got to keep an eye on Buchanan's really the only elite class driver that's in that group and in that area. Tricky thing, I think, around Silverstone here is that left front tyre and the left rear tyre are going to, well, depends how you manage the left rear tyre, but you can certainly be able to manage it significantly more than you manage the left front tyre in this new tyre model. Well, it can take some abuse, but the lap times will start to fall off if you're not looking to be a little bit conservative on that tyre. Qualifying times, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, pole position was 1:58.8. Fastest lap time the race thus far, 59.4, so 6 tenths of a second. Slower thus far.
Yeah, I think at the moment, Scotty, I'm not overly worried about this situation. I think for a minute, although they're repping lap times and everything else, and I get it, 59.422, Trent Allen, fastest lap of the race at the moment. This beginning stage is vitally important. It's about getting your position. It's about getting your rhythm. It's about knowing where you're at, keeping up to where you need to be. Mason, and it's about knowing where you are. This is the thing. Mason, Kaposa, Saxon, Buchanan, Hanlon and Coates, if they've got an opportunity to save fuel, save it. Allen, Curtis, Webber, Rue, Butler, all there as well. You know, it's all about now planning where you need to be on your fuel strategy. Because the last thing you want to do is go 1 stop, go 2 stop, and then you've got to take a splash and dash at the end. It's going to be very close in general, whether or not it's going to be any more than 2. But I think at the moment, I would get some form of remote little bit of fuel saving done.
Yeah, if you can't go forward, and then in the meantime, let's just chill out and get on that fuel save margin as you possibly can. If you've got a little bit of clear air, That's the tricky thing about Silverstone is you need a fairly hefty bit of pace differential to actually be able to get the pass done. In the meantime, Brock Caddy placing pressure on Ben Wilkes at the moment. And this is back around 22nd and 23rd. 15-second time penalty for Tom Williams, 6 for contact on lap 1. So that's car number 5 from lap 1 as well. So more penalties. There was a fair bit of stuff that happened all the way back on lap 1. And here comes Caddy in the Mustang as he'll jink to the inside, try get down the inside of Stowe. Job done.
Yeah, he got it done there as well. The problem is at the moment is Kadai is still there, and the thing is Wilkes is still alongside him. They're going to be going side by side. Wilkes wants the inside line. He's going to demand space. Kadai's giving it to him. Now can Wilkes get the run out? No, he cannot get the run out. Kadai got a better run, and through he goes and out as well. Slow down for Robillard currently at the moment. He's got to take that off very, very shortly. I think he may have just got a penalty because I don't think he actually did manage to get it off by the looks of the fact he's got a black flag there. So, yeah, but Butler's having a good old battle up the front with Roux as well. Coleman's in the mix at the same time. But Kadai here with Robillard still fighting it out as they're going into the left-hander of the loop before they go into Aintree.
Yeah, here we go. It'll be trying to get that power down. And Robillard, with that penalty, will be a little bit of a cork in the bottle here that he doesn't necessarily want to handle. And we'll get up the inside. Parks it up there, but the 199 Acura is still hanging it in tough around the outside. When they get down to Luffield, though, he will have the inside. The Mustang of Cat Eyes right on edge around the outside, and then the Marbles. 3 or 4 goes at the power. He's going to lose that spot that he only just picked up.
That's the problem, isn't it? You go in there and you're going to have a battle. You kind of got to look in front and look behind at the moment. Wilkes is here currently as well in that Porsche. He's got Kadai behind. He's got Robillard in front, who still we think's carrying a penalty at the moment. 25-second penalty for Brian Tucker on lap 5 for causing an incident. Gee whiz, Batman. As Owen Coleman and Tapp going side by side as well.
Racing, yeah, you're right. And Coleman will manage to pick that spot up as how he goes down through Stowe. We'll cover it off as they get to the end of the lap as well. Parks it up on the apex. Pass completed. Now he'll get the eyes full with a little bit of clear air ahead of him. 4.5 seconds worth of it to group up to the next little battle pack of Koistra and Butler, who sit 4th and 5th on the road. This battle pack continues. Ben Wilkes is still looking back at Brock Cat-Eye now. Cat-Eye gets that job back done after the mistake all the way back up at Luffield. So he's taken some time. But Robillard will have to come to pit lane to clear that that penalty that he's been infringed with. He'll have 3 laps to do it. One of them's already gone.
Yeah, he's not in there. I'm not seeing any movement. There's Roux's off the side of the circuit as well. Poor old Roux there has gone off the track, dropped all the way down to 9th. We'll have a look and see what happened there. But yeah, I wonder if it's the sausage curve playing an effect here for Roux.
Nice and balanced through farm. A little bit of a wiggle on the way in.
He's unsettled.
Was there a touch on the inside gravel there?
Scotty, if we're only going to look that if we look on the nose of the car behind. Other than that, you're not going to see it. But you can see generally that there was a little bit of he was unsettled going into the corner. And the problem is he didn't give the car time to settle down again. Brooke, Wilkes, Robillard still fighting out as well. Robillard, we think, still carrying a penalty. And at the moment, he's got to be looking at going and get that taken off or get it done somehow. Because he's going to be under great trouble if he doesn't, Scotty.
Let alone there's another one. Chris Withers just went into pit lane, potentially take his first stop of the night, maybe jump out of the queue and do a little bit of undercutting. Must have been caught speeding or unsafe pit lane entry or something on the way in because he's now going to stop and hold penalty as he has to serve that one. And yeah, I can see confirmation from the sim as well. Yeah, Robillard does have a penalty. Has not come from the admins though. Update was 25-second penalty, yes, for the car 711 incident on lap 5, and we'll see the incident. We'll see the penalties again jump up here in just a few moments because there was another one that's just popped through in sim. So 711 was Brent Tucker that was issued that penalty on lap 5, and there's the one for Trent Stapleton. Yeah, lap 6.
Yeah, there as well. Robillard's penalty come from a slowdown. his penalty was iRacing given because he got the slowdown, which we saw with the yellow flag, and then didn't get the slowdown off, which led to the penalty, which is what he's trying to take now. So, you know, that's the problem for Rob Harley's. Next time you get a slowdown, mate, take it off before you got to.
Getting in the middle of this little battle pack at the moment. Good to see Adrian Gretsch back out there and turning laps once again. And we do hope that in the time he's taken away from the series, he might have gone and gotten a little bit better advice from crew chiefs about fuel.
Ouch. You had to bring it up on him, didn't you?
It happened too many times, and it's one of the greatest stories in league history.
It is literally the myself song, isn't it? It's literally sat on the line 5 meters back, and you could just hear it. All by myself.
Only to immediately do it next weekend in GT4. Yeah,
that's the problem.
Once it was okay, but it was the 2 in a row was yeah. You think he would have learned his lesson.
That would have been, you know, get a new crew model, get a new crew chief, whatever, swap the program, I don't know, do whatever you want. But this battle in the middle here currently with the challengers, composers, Mason still in there, then we got Saxon, Buchanan, Hallen and Coates and Chapman. So we're getting a little bit feisty here, but I'm wondering how much is Chapman looking to move or how much is Chapman looking to fuel save?
I have to think about Jamie Saxon as well. The Ferrari's not necessarily been one of the quickest cars since the update as well, so he's doing significantly well for Ferrari. In fact, it's the fastest Ferrari in the field at the moment, just outside the top 10, and sits 9 spots ahead of the next one, driven by Garinge. But at the pointy end, it's Fords from Porsches from McLarens that make up the entirety of the top 10. So, a few Mercedes in that midfield, but definitely seems as if that Mustang has got the consistent package so far.
It's very unusual to see a Mustang, that many Mustangs in the front 6. You're almost regretting not having Jimmy here, because he might have actually had a chance in a Mustang. You know what I mean? He might have actually been able to put it up there somewhere in, I don't know, 20th or something like that. You know?
So the thing with the Mustang is it's the ground. I actually hate the engine noise on it. As a big Ford fan, huge Ford fan, I actually really don't like the Mustang GT3 because it's just the engine note is overdone for me. I can't drive it. Oh, actually, Glenn Hopkins has just requested a tire, so we might have a potential for a safety car here. He is rather close to the circuit, yeah.
And he's got a meatball, so he's even more knackered. So, he's had something before that. Yeah, he's had something already before that. Because look how broke he is. He is broke.
Safety car's being deployed. We'll have our first safety car of the race. And the issue with that one is our race leading trio were right at pit lane entry when it happened. So there's where the car went around. Where did it pick up the damage?
Watch this rejoin. There's got to be a rejoin incident somewhere because he can't just pick it up from that. There must have been more to this. Let this run out, and whatever's gone on further up.
Well, this is going to suck for the safety car deployment time because our front 3 have gone through. Sorry, we're still waiting. So is this a lap earlier?
No, I think this is coming up soon. This has got to be where he's done most of it because he'd already lost a lot of it. Goes over the sausage curb. Maybe it is. This is too early.
Either way, so we're not actually picking up any issues for that car, and that was lap 8 when that incident we watched happen. Either way, there's a whole bunch of cars that are actually in pit lane, which is on the bottom side of that pit wall. And the issue for the pit wall is that pit wall is actually a raised surface. You can see how much it drops away down to the pit lane itself. And the difficulty is we've had 4 cars go through without pitting, and the entire rest of the field have pit. And the problem with that was when the safety car was called, our front three were basically at the pit lane entry. So they had a choice to make, and they had an immediate choice to make. And unfortunately, I reckon they were probably a touch too tight.
Yeah, they wouldn't have made it in if they were that close. That's the problem. The problem is now is they're not going to get enough gap to go in. They're going to be out down the order regardless, because they're going to go in now and everybody's going to be tucked up behind them. So the only option for them is to go, okay, well, how much fuel have I got left? How far can I go? Can I fuel save to stretch this out anymore to see if they can go a little bit longer? Because other than that, mate, these front three, Alan, Curtis and Webber, well, even down King as well didn't go in. So these four are pretty up the proverbial without a paddle currently, because they haven't pitted and everybody else has.
Curious as to who's taken tyres and who hasn't, because you're going to potentially have a mix of cars here. Who we would have been right on the fuel window whereby you could have taken tyres as well, potentially. It would have been probably about 3 or 4 minutes away from being able to have fuel completely covered tyres. So there would have been no penalty to pretty much to taking tyres. It would have been a couple of seconds on pit lane.
Yeah, that's the thing. But the problem is the other guys have now just been given a free stop. They've been given a free pit stop. It's like safety car, in they go. And the front four haven't. So it's what the front four do now to how this works out for them. And this is either going to be game-changing, or they're going to be there and they're going to try and do something amazing with what they've got on board.
That's the problem that we're going to have, isn't it? So for the moment, have a look at the class battles at the moment. And that Challenger class battle has actually got a little bit of separation in it now since the safety car, and that'll be because there'll be some cars spaced out in between them. And confirmation, your front four at the moment.
Capozzi leading the challenges at the moment as well. Still, they've all stopped apart from the front four. So Luke Capozzi at the moment, they're leading the way. What's wrong with the McLaren? Nothing really. It just takes a little bit longer to get warmed up than most of the others. That's about it. You've got to be nice to it and treat it well, and Netflix and chill it, sure, rather than taking it for a drunken night at a nightclub.
The McLaren was brilliant. I can tell you the McLaren's absolutely brilliant. I was actually lucky enough to partake in at the Spa 24 Hours this year, the actual official one, and I was lucky enough to set the world's 114th fastest lap of the weekend at that event, which I was over the moon about, because we're always sitting here in the commentary box, I rarely ever get to get behind the wheel, and to have the result, we didn't end up with the result that we wanted, but to jump away from Spa. So, and that was at the wheel of a McLaren. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with the McLaren. The McLaren had to get popped into oblivion for that event. So the McLaren is absolutely quick enough, but it's just track dependent. I think that's the big evolution that we're seeing in this class and category moving forwards, is certain cars are now far better at certain tracks.
That's always the way. You're always going to get it. Doesn't matter what it is. Let's be real about it. If we stuck the Mustang at Nords, would it be better than the nimble Porsche at Nords? No, because the Porsche's got cornering leveled and it's cornering speed and downforce and everything else is great in the corners. But if we stuck the Porsche at Road America, where we've got the long straightaway, will it outgun the Mustang? No, the Mustang's got better top end. So it's always will be track specific. To pick the car for this year, I would have looked at the calendar and gone, what have we got? What have we got going on here on the calendar this season? What have we got? And we've got Silverstone, fairly long. The Bend, fairly long. Depending on the layout, of course, there is a massive layout of the Bend. Watkins Glen, medium. Road Atlanta, short. Motegi, medium. Fuji, fairly long one as well. Road Atlanta, these are all things that you take into consideration when you're picking your car. Because for me, I would look at that and go, okay, I think with Okayama, the Bend, Fuji, and a few others that are quite twisty, on that situation, is the Merc going to be any good? Is the Porsche going to be any good? Is the McLaren going to be any good? And that's where I would look at and think, right, let's take them for a spin and see what gives us the best time.
Yeah, so I think one of the new things that's actually worthwhile keeping an eye on as well is the Acura. And if we go back to tracks whereby there's a lot of straight lines, so I'm thinking places like straight lines whereby the passing opportunities are on all of your straights. So places like Bathurst and Le Mans, and well, Fuji's probably the other one that is actually potential there as well. You might actually see the Acura jump back in, but there is not very many people running the Acura in this series at all this season, whereas historically, since it's come out, it's actually been one of the quicker ones. So it's a big adjustment that we've seen.
Yeah, it's a basic swap over, isn't it? The Acura Bottrell, the Acura Robillard, that's about it, you know. And it's just people trying it. I was in a series the other day where it was all Mercedes at the front. So it just swaps around, and you get what you're given almost. And at the moment, there's certain cars that fancy, I suppose, are better than others in the hands of different drivers.
Righto, here we go. We're getting set for a race restart. Pace car is now back in pit lane, and Trent Allen has control of the field. How long is he going to hold them? On the first start, they were held a very long time, right up until the drop of the green flag. It might be as soon as he turns into the apex here on the right. Oh, he is going to still hold them even further than this. They're firing in anger in behind. Field will go. We are green flag from the front end of this one after our first safety car of Season 2 2025. Half an hour into the race. 90 minutes to go. And with some strategy games to yet turn on their head, and there was a sideways car in the first section. I believe it was Tap yet again. Sorry, my apologies. It was Luke King.
Yeah, the Porsche there off the side of the circuit, unfortunately there for King. I think Ricky might have taken a trip down the side of it as well. There's a couple of people that have. Composer's made a mistake. He is dropping down the order from the leader. The challengers, Composer is off track somewhere at this moment in time. Trent Stapleton's also been off. Wilkes has also been off. There's a lot happening on this restart.
Yeah, we might jump straight back into another safety car. 94 is in the fence. There's multiple cars here that are in the fence and need a tow at the moment.
McLaren's off the circuit.
Leaders are just coming their way back through. Yeah, there's Trent Stapleton. Letha McClimate, you said, was off as well. And Rick Provenzali was running very, very slowly. He's dropped about 10 spots since the restart.
Yeah, he was very, very wide coming out of that final corner. There's another one, Gavin Simpson. I think they've all hit the witching hour in race number 1.
I want to say this is cold tyres back on a number of these cars. And
you are wrong, Scott. You are right. You've hit it on the head there, son. That's exactly the problem.
Cold tyres for some, and I want to say hot tyres for others is probably the go here. So there will be a fair bit of mix-up. John Trott, I can tell you, had a shorter pit stop than a lot of cars around him. I want to say that he's left the tyres on. And that was just one of the examples I was looking through. I was looking at pit stop times. There was a number of longer pit stop times. Greg Brooks is another one I think might have not take tyres. Tom Williams in the 5 machine, another one. Phil Whiteman's having a rougher night because remember he's still got a penalty to pay. He's off the circuit. Oh, and Coleman's gone around.
In the middle of the circuit.
On the front straight.
Yeah, slow down for Ruse, slow down for Coates. Everybody having to try and avoid. Owen Coleman stuck in the middle. How did he end up there? That's going to be the question.
Is he just going to do this on his own on cold tyres? Yeah, there he goes. And there was another car that nearly went around just ahead of him. Was the McLaren again. And that would have been the number 10 machine. That would have been Luke King. And I think Luke King did hit the barriers. No, he's okay. Luke King is actually okay. But he's losing more spots. So he's lost everyone. Cold tyre restarts is really, really struggling at the moment. That was an unsafe rejoin. I'm not happy with that rejoin.
This is nuts. Like, what has gone on? There's a slowdown for Heaney in there as well. He's brandishing a yellow flag at this moment in time. At the same, it's just crazy. They should have known this. Remember the first race, Scotty, last season after the new tyre model? Where was it? Spa? It was absolutely chaotic. There was people off all over the place.
You say that, but the Pro Series had exactly the same problem, and that's the best drivers in the country. So, yeah, you are right. I think it's just well, you got to remember that actually, thinking about it, this track is so similar to Spa in nature. And in fact, the setup that you'd run would probably be just about you'd basically bolt on a Spa setup and be quick, really out of the box here.
And that's the thing. But the problem isn't that. It's they're not learning. They haven't learned that actually the cold tyres are going to be a problem, and they've just got to manage them and warm them up somehow. You know, there was talks in. I think I saw a post in the forum that basically said that now weaving left and right actually makes a difference to keep your tyre temperatures warm. And this is the thing. Clearly, some of them haven't learned that they didn't need to do that, or they need to warm up. King's now off. He's dropping down the order. I think he's in pit lane actually for King as he plummets down the order. You know, there's a lot of learning I think some of these guys needs to do.
Here we go. There's more action out of the final corner as well. Jake Robillard is trying to go around the outside. Luke King's just jumped the pit lane, so he might actually have damage on that McLaren. Jamie Saxon's now moved up. He's actually the leader of the Challenger class. There's been a huge incident at the first chicane, and Nick Bottrell's gone around and clouded Rick Provenzali. And there's a Mercedes off the track as well. Where is that backwards?
That is just past Village going into the loop before they get onto the into Aintree and down the Wellington.
I can tell you, 225, which is Nick Bottrell, has just called for a tow as well. And that might be another safety car about to come our way. That was huge, that accident.
The question is anybody going to learn, Scotty, from this one?
225 is clean to tow, so we don't have a safety car yet. And Rick Provenzali, I thought, was looking for somewhere to find a gate to get out at the moment. He's crabbing around the circle. He is not in a great shape at the moment, but this is meantime back up the pointy end. And that's Rue Koistra jumping out of the way. Mason's now up to P6. Koistra's to 7th. Jamie Saxon is the Ferrari that's just in behind them. So he has jumped inside that top 10 after being just on the cusp not too long ago. We're talking about him being the best of the Ferraris.
Yeah.
It looks like a fairly stable shell underneath him.
Yeah, he must have picked a setup that's given him a bit of downforce there as well, because at this moment in time, he's doing a great job. But as you can see, there's still slowdowns happening. Brooks now got one as well. Rue here in that McLaren, Saxon in behind, leading the challengers now with Coates and Hanlon after the incident with Capoza, which unfortunately, I don't think we saw that incident with Capoza, where he ended up going off the circuit and losing all them spaces.
So, we're just going to have to keep an eye out and see Luke Capoza, the number 4 machine, is all the way down in 20th spot now. So, after leading that class earlier on, he's slid down the order. Time. Let's try and jump back, grab a replay. So this is what happened with Capoza after the restart. Was there contact? Yeah, there was just a touch there.
There was contact, but was he shutting the door? That's the problem. And was there overlap? Because if there was overlap there, it's not his fault.
Well, that'll be the debate that race control will go through. And I just heard car 317 got a post-race penalty, which will be Leith McClimate. Nick Bottrell just got a penalty as well. So we'll see some of this starting to flow through on your screens, I believe, in the near future. But Race Control have got their hands busy tonight with 55 cars, 55 cars in the server. It is going to be a busy, busy night at the office when stuff starts to go wrong. Now, for the front four, how long can they go? Because remember, they were on... In fact, it's now become a front three. They were on warmer tyres. They're 5 seconds down the road after clearing the tyre warm-up phase of everyone behind them.
Well, it depends what they're going to do now, isn't it? They're 40 minutes in. They ain't going to be able to go for much longer in conjunction, you would have thought. But they've not even opened gaps up. It's 5.5 seconds to Webber. That's it. You know, and this is the thing. They're not in a good spot because of where they were at the moment the safety car came out.
I want to say Jesse Butler and Nathan Tupp, I reckon, might have left their tyres on. So I reckon the 5 seconds they've opened up to back to Jesse Butler is a fuel differential, fuel offset in terms of pace. And then there's another 5 seconds back to James Mason, Rui Coistra, who I think were potentially the lead cars that maybe took fresh tyres there. So that is, you know, a 10 to 12 second margin that they have built up to that group. So that is relevant in terms of things. But 4th back to 8th. So this is all the cars that have pit. And for the moment, Coistra continues to look at the back end of James Mason.
Yeah, he's going to be staring there for a bit, I think. Saxon's got him behind as well. Through Maggers and Beckett's, this is real opportunity on the run down the hangar, down in the Stowe at the moment. Which way's he going to go? He's muscled the inside. That door's got to stay open now. He's alongside. A little bit of an elbow budge from Rue. Mason chopped his nose off there as well. And, well, that could have been a little bit lucky.
What made him vulnerable to Jamie Saxon, who tried to get in behind him, and Rue nearly got into the back end of James Mason because he got in hot. Then to the next corner, when they got down to Vale, front two are now dived to the pit lane. Isaac Curtis remains the only driver that is still yet to pit, but that does get us past the 40-minute marker.
How much longer can they go?
Well, Curtis can go an extra lap here. He's actually in a really, really good opportunity.
Well, yeah, that's now he can obviously go an extra lap because he stayed out, because he ain't going to go. He's not going to go in. Not going to go in if he can't make it. So clearly he has made that extra lap. But the question is what's going to happen with everybody else when they come in and go? You know, are they going to be all over the place? It's a 15-second penalty for Leif McClimate there for causing an incident.
Leif McClimate. Fortunately, his step up into league administration duties and to the top steps has not gone well. Although, to be fair to him, if he'd just jump out of that damn Lamborghini, he'd probably do a fair bit better. Although I truly support him driving the Lamborghini, by the way.
I think if he's happy in the Lambo, stay in the Lambo. I've seen some guys drive the Lambo and they've driven it very, very well and very, very quickly. But maybe if Leif did try something else, it might be worth having a go. But, you know, that's racing. He's happy. Let him carry on.
Oh, Isaac Curtis has now run as far as he possibly can in that machine. And Martin Allen is going to make contact with the rear end of the 299 car of Brad Coates. And the right rear tyre is now off of that car. And it will require a transit back through the pit lane to take any further part. And he will know with the poor acceleration of that car that it's going to be quite destroyed. Is there already damage to that car?
Yeah, the rear end's missing.
Well, if it wasn't missing before, it is now. And then the harden the barrier and off it goes. Did he make it back to pit lane?
Curtis made it. Mate, Curtis is in pit lane now and just dropping down the order.
Yeah. Brad Coates didn't make it back to pit lane. He actually did get it back in. There will be no safety car as a result of that one, but he is tumbling down the order. Benjamin Brook is going to pick himself up an incident. It will let him 25 seconds post-race. Ed Adcock At the moment, we watch this battle on board from him. Adrian Gretsch and Brock Goodeye just ahead of him. And then the battle ahead has changed back hands once more because Koistra now has his hands back on a podium position. And the thing will be, now that he's got a little bit of clear air and I would say fresher tyres, there is only 7 seconds between himself and the lead. If he's got fresh tyres, they will matter around this track. There is every opportunity to run him down.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, but it's how can Rue get away from Mason enough to concentrate to go forward to the guys in front? Because let's not forget, he has got people in behind him, right? And if they can't get rid of him, then he's going to be spending more time looking in his mirrors, and that gap up front is going to go further and further out.
I can tell you at the moment that Trent Allen, that group of cars that did just make their pit stops after 18 and 19 laps out there on the fuel, Isaac Curtis popped back out the lead of those cars in 31st spot.
That is a long way down the order.
Koistra has actually made some gains. That's actually a very quick lap from him, 2 minute 051. He's actually taken about half a second and Nathan Tapp just ahead of him. However, Jesse Butler's actually continuing to turn reasonably good lap times. It was about a 1/10 of a second faster than Koistra on the most recent lap. So Butler's actually not doing too bad on those tyres in his Porsche with the clean air. But I reckon Nathan Tapp's going to get run down here.
Yeah, it's not really plummeting. The gap isn't coming down. It's been 4.2 for most of this lap, and I don't think it's going to be massively lower by the end of it. I think Rue's now escaping from Mason by about 8/10. It's not massive, but it's enough where he can now concentrate on doing what he wants to do. For Mason to come from there, he's got to send it like an aeroplane, and hopefully for Rue that won't happen.
Yeah, whether or not he will make taxiway or takeoff is the big question for James Mason for the rest of his race, but he is sitting in a really, really nice little spot at the moment, and should be proud of these efforts, at least thus far. Still, past the third race distance, and Isaac Curtis, after coming back out of the pits, is in the fence, and in the fence hard and static at the moment for the 991 machine.
Did he change tyres in pit lane?
Surely.
Then you know where the problem lies, right?
Nope, that's a hardware failure. Of some description, whether that's a screen... Can
we look on board in the cockpit, please, Mr. Producer?
I can tell you, he's actually back out there and running again. So whatever the problem was, he's fixed it. Although he's on a crawl back to the pit lane at the moment. So try and grab another look from the inside of that car.
You can't really see the wheel, can you? It's bizarre, but yeah, it's clearly a hardware failure, isn't it, there at some point?
Yeah. So, whether or not it was issues with the steering wheel at that point, or if it was a monitor, but the thing that's making me go, that's probably a monitor, is the fact that he went dead straight. Sorry, it's not a monitor.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a wheel. He went dead straight. So, for the meantime, Cut 777's just received a penalty, and I believe we were actually on board with them a few moments ago. It was James Mason, incident on lap 14. So that was immediately on the restart. There's a 15-second time penalty. So we're just talking well about James Mason. All that hard work is going to go a little bit to waste with that time penalty.
There's a couple of people who would have done that already, isn't there? Let's be real about it.
Yeah.
You know, There's a couple of people who have already done that. We've got Curtis back in pit lane. We've got Climate in there as well. We've got Brad Coates. We've got the likes of Wilkes, Hopkins, Stapleton. You know, all of these people were down a lap or so. Coburn's down 2. I don't know if Bottrell's down 5 or something ridiculous like that. You know, there's a couple of people who could really probably do with a quick lesson on how to drive on cold tyres.
Well, at the moment, Jesse Butler is indeed leading the way. And for him, this is his 7th start in the series thus far. He's been averaging somewhere around a 7.5 to 8th place average start. And his average finish, well, it's a little bit further back. It's in the 23s. So qualifies well, does Jesse Butler, but his races have been inconsistent. So that's probably something he wants to work on. And right now, at this point in time, leading the way, you'd have to say, doing rather well with that one.
And extending the gap. 3.6 now, 4.2 as well from Root. Not getting any closer to the tap. That gap's not coming down. Mason's got Saxon tucked in right behind him at this moment in time as well. So great job from Mason there with Saxon, Buchanan, Hanlon and Commode. Fair play to them. You know, there's drivers that have driven really well here this evening, and there's some that, yeah, you know, need a quick look at themselves, I think.
Meantime, just at the minimum, I think just lost a spot further down. I think I was actually to let Owen Coleman go through. So Emily picks himself up a penalty for contact with, that would be PJ Whiteman, and that's Nick Miller going around. And I can tell you that Nick Miller is not spelt with 3 L's. How about that?
Why?
My
Why
eyes
not?
did a take on that one when I was reading it. There you go. So just around on the own. That's the first time I see a Ferrari go around from the rear end like that.
Yeah, this is the problem. These things happen, don't they? And that's the thing. You make mistakes. You dust yourself off and you crack on with it. It's going to be now, how is Miller going to respond to this? And he's having to go at Lee currently as well, as they're on their run through Maggotts and Beckett's. Lee's just got that completely wrong. Miller can get him on the exit here if he gets a good run. Through he goes. He wants to tighten and get the run. Nope, Lee manages to survive. And I think that's the power of the Porsche, surviving Maggotts and Beckett's rather than Miller in that Ferrari.
Yeah, and now he'll try and power away. But for Nick Miller, he's going to try and cruise up, get a little bit closer. And I can confirm for you, after what was a strong opening stanza of the race for Isaac Curtis, and the pit stop went well, done for the day.
Oh, there you go. What can you say? And it just goes to show how quickly it all can swap on its head.
Featuring Gretsch. He's going to get an opportunity here. Get up the inside. Brock Caddo, after Caddo runs fractionally wide on the exit of left field there. Gets the job done before they get the cops. Tipped in and controlled.
Yeah, great job. Great job. Camo there, Kadai, Buchanan, they're all in and around. Adcock's still there at the same time. 10-second penalty for Nick Bottrell for causing an incident on lap 15.
Yeah. Well, that's a few for Bottrell already tonight. So, a couple penalties for him to be serving. And I've just seen John Lee that we were talking about just a few moments ago has gone deep at the end of the Wellington straight as he tipped it into Brooklands, and I think he found the barriers there as well. So it's another car more instance. The problem is 50 cars on track. There is just cars everywhere.
Trying to find a gap for your pit stop, Scotty, is going to be very, very difficult.
There isn't one. That's the short answer for you.
Yeah, you've just got to go in and see where they end up and see where you end up. So, do they require another pit stop? Yeah, they will.
So for now, head down, keep managing. that first hour, by the way, of racing, we've only got 7 minutes left of it. It is ticked by and trucked on massively quickly.
Yeah, it has gone rather quick. I was just seeing what Kadai was going to do there. Adcock now sticking his nose out, keeping his nose out there for Adcock. And at the moment, you can see this is still Mason. I think Mason's in the mix with back markers here. I think that's because that is not... Is that Saxon in front of him? I've got Mason and Rue and Buchanan. I don't know if the timing software's froze.
At the moment, we're about 6 minutes away from that hour marker at this point in time. We'll have a look again at this battle pack because James Mason at the moment, not only has he lost Koistra's disappeared down the road, but Saxon's gotten through on him now and he's starting to make a little bit of headway as well. And now they're all just sort of queuing up in behind him.
Yeah, Saxon's kind of the cork at the bottom with Mason, Harlan and Buchanan. It's that normal scenario of whoever's out in front escapes and then everybody else is left to battle, and then when they're out in front they escape and the next guys are left to battle. So it's the same thing constantly here as well. But great fighting from all of these guys on the racetrack as well. Let us know in YouTube chat who you are looking at. Isaac Curtis had VR issues. I could explain why he ended up in the wall, and to be blatantly honest with you as well. Unlucky, mate. Martin Hallen and Mason Saxon still battling away for that 4th, 5th and 6th spot. All the challengers, of course, obviously wanting to get the lead of that race. Is Jamie Saxon an elite or is he challenger? Because I've got it on that one. And Adrian Gretsch is a challenger, I believe, as well. So this is all going to swap on his head a minute because Bobby Camo's an elite as well. I'm not quite sure why that's all not changed, but there we go. Isaac, VR issues always the way, mate. Black screen, was it? Did it just go off and next thing you know you're in the wall? Is that how it works? So Martin Hallen's there, Mason's there, Buchanan's there as well. Bobby Camo, Adrian Gretsch and Adcock all continue to fight. All right, Martin Hallen still in there. Hallen's still there as well. There's going to be a couple of swaps in a minute because I think Bobby Camo might be an elite as well, and Adrian Gretsch a challenger. So that's going to change as well because it should probably leave Gretschy, I think, the lead of this group for Adrian Gretsch in that challenger class. I have to keep an eye on it. Saxon is elite this season. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, pretty much. I thought it was. Black screen. See you later. Adios. Take care. Oh, by the way, there's a wall, and you've just ended up in it, Isaac, as well, unfortunately, dear sir. But yeah, lots of stuff still to come out of this, I think, as we're going to go past the hour here, Scotty. There's been a couple of changes. There's a few drivers are not where they should be. Yeah.
And that'll be the challenge at the moment, is working your way back through the field. I was keeping sort of half an eye on Luke Capoz's response at the moment. He's back up to 15th spot, by the way, overall. So he's doing a reasonable job. Brock Catt, I remember, he spun much earlier on. And I think I was actually all the way back on lap number 1, and he's sort of been in recovery efforts up until now. Back to 11th spot. So that's actually a supreme job that he's doing at the moment. So great to see the forward progress for him. That closing rate between Rue Koistra and Nathan Tapp is coming down. So Koistra will get there. He's only 1.8 seconds behind him at the moment as well. So
I think there's going to be still more coming out of this, Scotty. I think there's going to be a lot more still coming out of this.
So 2 minutes to go until we hit that halfway marker in the first race of the season from Silverstone. James Mason has just picked himself up a slowdown penalty as well in the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th at the moment. So that will be worthwhile keeping half an eye on, because he's going to have to serve that one. And indeed, he's had to let a couple guys go. I think Saxon and Hallinan, no, it's just Hallinan who's managed to jump his way through. Mason's still got the slowdown penalty, you know. And he's finally gotten clear of that one, but he's dropped another spot and might lose a lot of Bobby Camo. So Mason picking up that slowdown penalty. He's gone from 5th all the way back to 7th. So that's been quite costly.
The joys of a slowdown, Scotty, the joys of a slowdown. And the problem is there's not really a place at Silverstone that you can try and get it off either. Like certain circuits, you can go slow into the hairpin. And that's the thing, you can have a look and you can do that. There's a spinner there as well. Somebody's just gone round it in the Mercedes, I think, off the side of the circuit. Yeah, off there as well.
So he's just come out of the pits with Dale Atkins. I think that was on the cold tyres. In the meantime, Mason gets that job done, gets back up the inside of Will Buchanan thanks to the opportunity presented by that one. But in the meantime, Bobby Camo is going to try and go around the outside of him. So Buchanan's going to lose 2 spots as a result of that one. One to a teammate at least, which will make that sting a little bit less. Now Bobby Camo is left, right, just about in the bumper of the McLaren as they head down to Cops. And around goes the rear end of the BMW. Oh, Buchanan hangs onto it. Just.
Yeah, he caught it back, but he's now slow coming out. You see these guys still fighting. 3 Maggots and Beckett's to go. That BMW is going to be under pressure. Adcock is closing all the way in on him. Behind him at the same time here. So he's got to be careful now for the BMW of Buchanan because he's under pressure. And there's a slowdown for Brooks.
That there is. Greg Brooks is Bobby Camo yet again. He's going to try and muscle the McLaren around the outside. His Mercedes. When they get to Stowe, tips it back on itself. Car's starting to drive into pit lane. Nathan Tapp is going to dive in. I think his tyres were about had it. Martin Hallinan's going to join him in the pit lane. We're at the halfway marker. Hallinan, by the way, has just picked himself up a 25-second penalty as well. So that'll put him significantly out of the running order. And we're going to have to keep an eye on those post-race penalties because they are getting excessive.
25 seconds for Martin Hallinan. Blimey. Yep.
And it was for something on lap 19.
There's going to be people here all over the place. This is going to get mixed up here with an hour to go.
Massive. I'm just looking at the penalty sheet and I can see 19 separate incidents on that sheet. Although one of them is a comms violation. So effectively 18 separate incidents. One of them still be ruled on yet. And the bulk of them receiving penalties. In fact, there's only about four no further actions out of that 18 to 14 penalties. And the smallest of those is 10 seconds. Oh, by the way, there were 4 separate incidents that happened under the safety car as well. So, a fair bit has happened. That one safety car has spiced things up massively. In the meantime, we need to have a bit of a look. We're looking for Trent Allen, I think, on his way back through the field after making his pit stop. He's back up to 19th spot. As it currently stands. And he's on the charge. Owen Coleman's also on the recovery effort after his spin after the restart as well. Keeping an eye on the Camo-Mason battle. Everyone just about cycling into the pit lane at this point in time. So that will look to start seeing the order shuffling itself massively at the moment. So Mason and Saxon will both continue, as will Bobby Camo, sits third on the road at the moment. And Buchanan, the top 4, all electing to stay out the extra lap. Here we go, ladies and gents. Past the hour marker, under 57 minutes remaining in this race at this point in time. Looks like we might have had an issue actually for Trent Allen, as we were just talking about him on his recovery effort. Because remember, he was one of the cars that was climbing back through the field. No, Trent Allen's looks like might have been. Oh no, there was a little bit of contact. It was with Dale Atkins, who went around. He just nicked him. As they come past the pit lane entry, there's Farm and into the loop, and the Merc just in front of it. That's the second time that Merc's been around the last few laps, by the way. So that's Dale Atkins trying to get some temperature into the Mercedes' tyres for an extended pit stop. I do wonder whether or not there's going to be this group of cars into pit lane. And in fact, we just had Tom Williams in the number 5 machine request a tow as well. So there is a car parked up. So pit strategy is playing its way out. But for the meantime, there is a Porsche parked up on the outside of the hangar straight. Yeah, Tom Williams in position over here at the moment. So you can just see there was clearly a moment on the exit of the straight. It's probably going to be allowed to tow from here. But for now, has James Saxon gone an additional lap on the field? No, he did come through the pit lane. No, he has gone the additional lap on field. And I can tell you, there is a bunch of cars going around on cold tyres at the moment. I've just seen Matt McCamley actually just spin off just in front of Jamie Saxon at the moment. So again, cold tyres are causing issues. Here comes the group of cars that pit the lap previously. We're now cycling their way back up in terms of the running order. There will be one more pit stop to come for, I reckon, the guys that just pit, but everybody else, that group of 3 cars, which gets reduced to 2 cars, so it's Trent Allen. I can't remember who the other car now was that stayed out. But it looks like they've had an issue as well, because they've dropped back, so it's realistically just Trent Allen. Oh, it was Matt Webber, my apologies, it was Matt Webber. Trent Allen and Matt Webber, who are still the 2 cars, are probably leading. It didn't stop on that safety car. So for the meantime, they will lead the way, but it's not on corrected running order, and I believe we should be seeing Saxon dive to the pit lane right now. So he's going to dive to the pit lane and complete his second pit stop, which will now cycle everything out. And that incident, by the way, for Tom Williams will be his retirement at the end of the race. So that incident, whatever happened for Williams, will be him done for the day. So another car retiring from the back end of things. And cold tyres strike yet again.
Yeah, this is going to be a general theme, Scotty, all the way through this, I think. Cold tyres are going to be up for conversation, and how they manage them. Well, they manage them by going very slowly and warming them up before. There's a swap up the front. Saxon's in pit lane. Allen's now leading the way as well. How far down is Saxon going to go?
25-second penalty grid with books. We're going to need a calculator. This race is not going to be done at the end of this one, because we're going to have to do some calculations to confirm for you race leaders and class winners, because we'll need to be digging through the penalty sheets, I think, at the end of this one. In the meantime, probably time for a little bit of a word about the sponsors that go ahead and keep the lights on. Sponsoring this series, of course, the limited portion is your Dash Off-Road 4x4 parts and accessories, Kibby Graphics, Sim Racing in Focus podcast, and Sudspeed Premium Sim Racing Gloves. Those are the 4 sponsors that proudly bring you the GT3 limited series. In the meantime, James Mason's going to get a little bit of a touch up as he goes racing with Green And Garin is going to go up the inside.
That was Mason trying to get the apex. That was Mason trying to grab the apex, and now it's going to lead into this free car fight. And Mason goes back. Another spot here, loses a place to Adcock as they carry on down. But that was literally Mason went in deep. He tried to grab the apex, hit the brakes to try and pull it back in, and unfortunately lost 2 spots for his troubles.
Yeah, didn't necessarily work out the way that he wanted. In the meantime, too wide as they enter Maggots and Beckett's, not necessarily going to work. And Adcock sneaks through. Garinge backs out of that one. So Mason's lost the 2 spots in this lap. Garinge has maintained, and Adcock has gained 2.
Yeah, Adcock going forward at the moment as well.
Oh, Matt Webber had a pink fuse just had a spin. And a second
Webber's just gone round as well. Sitting in the wall. I wonder where that curbing, or whether or not that sausage curbing had anything to do with that.
I think that's just gone around on his own. Unfortunately, loses 1 spot to Jesse Butler, but remember, there's a difference in fuel strategy between all these cars. So that actually will be a lot more massive than it looks on the surface. For the meantime, Trent Allen, the only thing Trent Allen can do is just continue to set best laps. I reckon he's going to be in a strategy hole. I've got to be honest. He's got a much more fuel to add to this car at the end of this one.
Yeah, this is going to play a part, but we knew they were all going to be out of sorts from that first safety car, and it's not going to change, I don't think. I think there's going to be a couple of people out of sorts. Halloran's having a bit of a battle there with Bobby Camo and Saxon. Adcock's broken away from Mason and Gorringe here with Buchanan in behind. There's still going to be battles materialising here, Scotty, for the next 50 minutes, I think. This isn't going to really give us a rough idea until about 25 minutes, 20 minutes to go to know who's where on pit stops and who's where with their fuel struts.
Yeah, that's the problem, is we're just sort of going to be guessing up until that point. See a few more penalties actually coming in on that penalty sheet as well. So for the meantime, lap traffic are starting to become a factor in this race. But bits and pieces, Matt Webber closes back in. That's on Dale Atkins, and Atkins has been lifting out the bulk of the way throughout tonight's proceedings. So again, just allows another one to go through. The tricky part is that's Nathan Tapp just in behind him. And have a look at Rue Koistra, finally latched on. So we will see the Koistra versus Nathan Tapp battle that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, these guys are going to battle this out, I think, and see how this one goes. You see Saxon Camo, Hanlon behind it, Mason Gorringe having a battle. Then you've got Foster, Chapman and Capoza is trying to recover from his earlier incident at the same time. There's going to be lots of things taking shape here over this next, 49 minutes. It's going to be now, these guys want to put themselves in a position to be able to get this final pit stop if there's one needed, and to find out where they're going to be, because at the moment this literally in regards to fuel strategy is all over the place.
So with under 50 minutes now left on the clock and rapidly approaching that 2/3 race distance, here we go. And that was headlight flashing from Nathan Tapp, who's trying to get by Dale Atkins, which is the lap car. So that again places that lap car in the middle of this little battle pack.
Yeah, this guy's still Mason, Saxon, Camo, Hanlon, I should say, as they're battling on. Bobby Camo sitting in this middle section. Saxon's going to be leading the way. He's got to try and get past that Ferrari with that Mustang. He's going to start moving, trying to go forward if he can. Bobby Camo currently with Hanlon behind in the Mustang, but Camo in the Mercedes. Continuing on once more on that run now as well, down into Maggots and Beckett's. It's about getting the run out and seeing who can get the decent run through Maggots and Beckett's and who's going to come out the other side.
Yeah, set yourself up. Flow it through fast flowing corners of Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel out onto the hangar straight. Bobby Camo will now again try and line up and have a crack in that Mercedes GT3. Next round of pit stops due, probably with about 35 minutes to go, you would imagine, but we're expecting to see Trent Atlan and Matt Webber in earlier than everyone else. And the question will be, can they make it on one more stop, or will they require 2 more stops? If they do need 2 stops, they're in trouble.
I don't think they need to. Gorin's got a slow down there as well. He's running the slow down off at the moment. I don't think they need to. If they can go to the half an hour mark and pit stop, they'll get to the end. That's their only issue. They've got about, 17 minutes, give or take, to run to the end of this race. As Camo got close, Hanlon there as well. These 3 still fighting.
Yeah, they will go at each other, and they will continue to go at each other because they're never ever not going to. Particularly for Martin Hallinan. He's got potentially the class that he wants to win at the moment, which will be motivating him further on. Warning for Jamie Saxon from lap 27, but nothing further, no penalty coming through as a result of that one. So that is one of the ones that I think that is effectively race control saying, hey, we've seen that, and that was on the line. Any further than that, you're over the line. Rather than just issuing no further action, which is always, that's never a bad idea either, JP.
No, I think you've got to play it by ear. You know, we've given out some harsh penalties. We've had 25-second penalties. We've had, some big harsh penalties here. And if Saxon hasn't really done anything that coexists with a time penalty, then yeah, slap him on the wrist. Tell him, look, you naughty boy, if you come back and do it again, there's going to be a time penalty for you. So Saxon's got to be a little bit careful, but Camo and Hanlon in behind him at the moment, and Saxon's going to be feeling the pressure. Allen's in pit lane, Webber's in pit lane.
Yep. And that says as far as they can possibly go. So, hour and 15 minutes left on the clock. That's 45 minutes to go. They're going to need another splash and dash. So effectively, not pitting under that first safety car, that's going to just effectively remove them under that from the race at large. That's way too far to go on that final stop, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. It will be tight. There's going to have to be some... Well, if they can do some major fuel saving, great. If they can't, run it, see where you end up. And if you need a splash and dash, well, tough. Really.
18 laps is the maximum. So, sorry, my apologies. Jamie Saxon at the longest, and that's 20 laps. And we've got about 22 needed from here to get home. So that says all you need to know right there.
Yeah, they're going to need to go in, I think. They're going to need to go in. You can see Webber's going down the order as well. Unfortunately for him, Stefan Mellis is having a battle with Tucker. They're practically side by side at the moment. So, yeah, we have to try and keep an eye on these, Scotty. I think for us up here, it is literally sitting there and seeing where we're at with 20 minutes to go. I think we're going to be lost trying to sort fuel strategies out before then at this moment in time. I think it's just play it by ear, see where they end up and see what we've got coming.
I think more importantly is we're up to 22 entries on that penalty sheet from the first hour and 15 minutes. From the first 5/8 of this race. Oh, is that a rear wing missing? I thought I saw on a Mustang there. It was a blue Mustang. Wasn't Matt Webber, was it? No, the wing's there. That was the car. That wing was still on that car. Never mind. My eyes did deceive me.
5-second penalty for Chris Ruddle on lap 34 for causing an incident. Brooke Kadai is having a nice little battle with Heaney currently at the moment as well. So Heaney having a little bit of a ding-dong. And Brooke Kadai has just gone through on Heaney, so that's a swap for positions there as well. But now they've swapped back again, so they're having a right little battle.
Here we go for Brooke Kadai. Down the inside. He's going to try and get alongside Greg Heaney. Something's just happened to Andrew Udman. I believe it's an issue with car shooting on blinking at the moment that they're investigating in the background. But in the meantime, Kadai on this mammoth drive back through the field. We were talking about him a little bit earlier on. Drove his way back to 15th. Well, he's now further than that. 13th. Greg Heaney will be his next victim. But this is actually a very, very reasonable recovery effort. After being facing backwards on the first lap.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing here. Some great recovery drive from Kadai, and now he's going again. We've got a funny feeling Martin Halloran's actually in the elite class, so it'll be Adrian Gretsch leading the challengers, not Martin Halloran at this moment in time. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that one. Martin Halloran sitting in 6th, labelled as the challenger, is actually in elite. So Adrian Gretsch will be leading the elite, the challengers after this as well. And Brooke Gadai sitting in there, Foster in behind with Kaposa tucked up right behind him as well.
Yes, that does drop the challenger. And to be fair, that's about where the challenger leaders tend to run, is just outside that top 10. So that does actually look a lot better at large. So I believe the graphics will be reflective with that change immediately now. Good job by the team behind the screens. In the meantime, Kamo continues to attack. I'm curious actually whether or not Edward Adcock's making any ground on this pack, and I don't believe he actually is at this point in time. So this three-way battle's just not going away at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be honest. Kadai and Heaney still fighting out as well. Kadai on that inside, Heaney now on that run down into club. Is Heaney going to go and try and go back up the inside again? He is laid on the brakes. Kadai's going to get the swap back on him on the exit here. Kadai's going to come back underneath him all day. Heaney went in deep. There is Brooke Kadai. There is Heaney. They're going to run side by side. Is the Mustang going to outgun that Porsche? He is. We knew that was going to come. But how far close is the Porsche going to be on the exit when they come through here on that run up into Farman Village? And at the moment, the Mustang's out in front and left him.
And change of position just in behind as well as Mark Foster is going to try and apply some pressure. It's Luke Composer.
The Porsche ain't going to outgun that Mustang, mate.
Well, more importantly, Luke Composer, after his spin on the restart, is also in recovery mode. So he's run down Foster. Now completed that pass.
Yeah, he's got the job done. Composers now should stretch his legs. That Mustang should pull away from the Porsche down this straightaway. Coming down into the right-hander, Cops at the bottom before they go into Maggers and Beckers. There goes the Mustang at this moment in time. And a good job from him. Composer, Foster, Chapman. Chapman's closer to Foster than Foster is to Composer. So Chapman's going to have to be careful because that's another Mustang tucked in behind him. Through the left-hand and we go, through the right. Coming out the other side as well. Oh, you've got to lift it off. That Porsche got that all wrong there. Now you can go in the Mustang again and pull that Porsche back in.
Just seeing an issue as well. Alfonso Latello's just being rotated by Matt Webber's turn forward. It looks like it was contact in that one. Race control will have to have a look. But Chapman's not going to be able to get up the inside at Stowe. And that rundown effort, because Foster's now yielded that one spot, and they're trying to do something that could Buchanan just up at the road as well, picking up a slowdown penalty in the final sector. So he'll have to try and bleed that one off in his pursuit of Ben Gorringe.
Yeah, either that or he's just going to have to slow right up and let it go here. But Chapman in behind Foz at the moment. Saxon and Bobby Camo still as they are. Camo cannot get his way through here, Scotty. He's been sat in behind staring at the back end of Saxon for quite a while. And now, what's Bobby Camo going to do? Is it going to be frustration or not?
Well, for the meantime, this battle will continue to rage. And I think patience, or at least running longer, is going to be the secret to this one, because you'll come out with that overcut as well in terms of the tyres. Also worthwhile pointing out is we're into the final third of the race distance now. For the drivers, remember, those two drivers we're keeping an eye on was Webber and Trent Allen. They're definitely requiring a splash of about 6 laps. Everybody else should be good to go from this final pit stop.
Yeah, should be, as Butler's got to slow down now. How much is he going to be able to take that off? You can see action now in front as well. Camo trying to go around the outside through the right-hander of Stowe. Down into Vale we go. Kamo now's looking, is he going to be able to get alongside? He can't. Dive up the inside. Nope, Bobby backs out and allows that Ferrari of Saxon to take that corner. The problem is that's brought Hallinan closer in as well.
Yeah, that it has. Still can't quite get it done though. That would be the problem. Is that traffic they're starting to catch? I believe it is. I believe that's Dale Atkins just ahead of them. And now it's going to be this big old swing from Bobby Camo to the inside of Jamie Saxon. Gets down the inside. No contact made. They've given each other enough room as they enter through farm. Now it's down through the loop. Does Camo leave him enough space? Yes, he does, but runs a little bit wide on the exit. Saxon's allowed to get the power down. But here comes Martin Hallinan in the middle of all of this. Is he going to be able to have a go? Covers a little bit, does Jamie Saxon. He's going to force Bobby Camo to go around the outside when they get down here. Tip it in. Look for the entry when you get to Luffield. No opportunity from Brooklands. Luffield won't present enough of an overtaking ability now for Bobby Camo once he gets squeezed to that apex and it gets shut down yet again. But he is getting closer lap by lap by lap, and Saxon is just hanging on to this one with fingernails at this point.
The problem is, it's not for Camo of getting past Saxon, it's Hallinan tucked in behind Camo, because if Camo's going for the move like he nearly did there into Luffield, he nearly lost that place to Hallinan. So whatever Bobby does, he's got to make sure it's definitive. He's got to make sure that he can get that job done and stay in front of Hallinan, because Hallinan's trying to come through with him. And the problem is Martin wants that place away, but he's got to be, for Camo, he's got to make sure it's done and dusted, send it out the inside, give Saxon no choice, which is what he didn't do. But now it's that run down into club again where Saxon seems to be stronger.
Now it'll be this run right here as we get out the other side, the Vale chicane. The entry on the left-hand side, then it's off the club on the right-hand side, bounces it over the curb, doesn't quite get it lined up, but it's a narrow line through here. Don't touch the curb on the left-hand side, don't touch the sausage curb, they all survive out the other side.
Yeah.
So for the meantime, Camo is still not able to get the run done. Carries a little bit more speed through one. Now through two. Here comes the dive at farm yet again. No, this time he doesn't offer it.
No, he backed out. He had a spot, Bobby. He had the spot. Take it shallow line. Nope. Gets blocked off from Saxon there. Through Village they go. Through the loop. Coming out into Aintree. Onto that Wellington Straight again. And this is another opportunity for Camo. He's got to look at this inside line. He needs that inside line, Scotty. He's got to overtake him. Sends it up the inside. If they can hold it off here, now take his nose off. Take his nose off. Open it up. Open it up. There you go. Opened it up. Blocked it. Bobby Camo finally get through. And now Saxon's going to have Hallinan climbing all over him.
Camo, that is the work of probably the last 10 laps he's been working on that one. And finally gets the opportunity that he'd been looking for, and it was the move that we actually said that he should go for, and the patience are not going for that one, that it eventually yielded the success out the other side. Now for Martin Hallinan, is he able to capitalise on his pace advantage that he's showing at the back end of this stint? The Ferrari's tyres are cooked and going on Jamie Saxon's machine. He's the lead of the Ferraris, but you just wonder if it's going to hang on to those spots.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to, because if Hallinan gets a run through Magnussen Beckett's here, he's going to be up behind him on that run down into the right-hander of Stowe. But that where the Ferrari seems to be stronger here through Stowe, and that's the problem for Hallinan. He's going to have to do a Camo. He's going to have to try and set him up with 5-6 laps of work before he can actually get through. And Camo's now trying to escape, and that's the problem. He wants to get up the road, but there's going to be some back markers, I feel, coming into play here in front of Bobby. Oh, big bounce. That's done. That Mustang is now going to have to set chase.
Yeah, and the problem will now be for Martin Hallinan is we're also starting to think about pit lane windows. I just heard the pit lane alarm going off, so one of the cars just entered pit lane. I think it was Garinge at the moment, so he will make it on fuel. Everyone will make it on fuel. It's in this group. Patrick Reardon's got an issue as well. He's just called into race control in the 48 car. So now this is a few cars that are just in front of the leaders here. Brad Coates just in behind Dale Atkins, and Coates is immediately going to dive out of the way. He will make sure that he plays no part in this battle. But for Dale Atkins, Maybe the next car on the road for this group.
Yeah, they've got to remove themselves from this equation, because the last thing you want to be is the reason why Bobby loses the place to Hanlon or Saxon. You can't do that. Your name's going to be mud. You aren't going to be getting Christmas presents from any of them. Let's just put it that way. So for Atkins, he's got to think, am I in a battle? No. Do I need to be in this battle? No. Can I lift and let these guys through? Yes, because otherwise I'm going to get in the way.
Yeah. And Kurt Chapman and Mark Foster are still going at it as well, because remember that Chapman's been working away at this one for a damn good period of time as well. And John Trott's also going to join in. So this is class placings in Challenger. And it will be for 4th spot on the road in the Challenger classing. And Chapman just can't quite get it pulled up at Stowe.
No, not at the moment. Not at the moment for Chapman. Foz is there as well. That's a big marker in behind him. I think that's Trott down in 12th behind these guys. Is he really going to want to get involved in this? Probably not here. But at the moment, Trott is looking like he's quicker than the guys in front. Now the question is, does Trott go through or does he not go through? As Chapman's trying to get the job done here as well. Through the right hander he goes. There you go. Job done for them.
Well, we're moments away from this pit window kicking off as well. So that is really, really important. Nearly gets into him. So 1 spot now lost as they all get into it. And for the meantime, Chapman will get the job done and get clear. But for the moment, it's going to be an interesting old battle. Keep an eye on. And by the way, after jumping away from that one, Foster's lost the rear end of the Porsche.
Oh, if only Pete was here at the moment as well.
No, don't say it.
We'd be
Don't
sitting there. What are we going to say, Scotty? Porsche doing Porsche things? Here we go. Listen, you've been a subject to this yourself. He's done the same thing for the last 40 laps or whatever it is, and now it goes and does that. No surprise, really.
I do not want to hear it. Get stuff. Get out, you pommel bastard.
Hey, you're the one who had to wear the tutu, mate, not me. I didn't do it.
Far out.
Listen,
this is the battle.
I might be a lot of things here, but I'm not the one wearing the tutu on camera for a broadcast.
Yeah, look, I lost a bet one time. I'm going to be paying for it for the rest of my life. In the meantime, Ruud Koistra is trying to win a bet on a racetrack as he tips into the Stowe deep as he gets in there. Or was it Nathan Tapp checking up a little bit? These guys will be a moment away from the pit window. There goes Tapp, who's going to dive in the pit window. I wonder whether or not Koistra caught up to him, recognised he wasn't going to get the pass done, and had been fuel saving. He'll get the overcut here. If Tapp goes for fresh tyres, those will be cold tyres, there'll be issues. Keep your eyes out for issues on the racetrack as well. Cold tyres, could be more moments. Half an hour, we are under half an hour to go.
Cold tyres will cause problems, and they're going to still cause problems if you are going to change tyres. You've got to give them time to warm up. It's as easy as that. You can't do what they want to do is just go out and start hurtling it. It doesn't happen now. You've got to use your brain. Be sensible about it. Hanlon's here having a battle with Saxon. Saxon's still got Atkins in front. Hanlon's taking the inside line. Is he going to be able to get this done? No. Saxon just about holds on into the left-hander of the loop they go. And Saxon keeps it there in front of Martin Hanlon.
Yep, hangs onto it. But that is continuing to be the walking wounded Ferrari at the moment, because as soon as the boys have cleared him, they've started to run away just a fraction. So for Jamie Saxon, Bobby Camo's gone 2 seconds down the road in the interim. And now he'll have the lap traffic of Dale Atkins to try and find his way around as well. And Martin Hallinan wants everything to know about this battle that's ongoing in this area of the racetrack right now. And finally, Atkins will drive out of the way, so he clears these guys nicely.
Yeah, he did it in the right place as well, allowed him to take the racing line. He lifted on the straight and away he goes. But now look at the run that Hanlon's got. He's got to get it in through Maggots and Beckett's through the left. He missed the entry on the first part, grabbed it on the second. Now he's going to try and get it on the third bit. Through he goes again, not really managing to keep it there as well. Now Saxon's got to get the run. This is how he's got to get away from this. Hanlon's going to try and get up the inside. If he can dive up the inside here, Martin Hanlon, he's going to have that inside line. Is he going to be able to get through? Hanlon hard on there as well. Now open it up, give him something to think about. Saxon's strong at club. He has been. It took Bobby ages to get through. Oh, Hanlon peels in pit lane. That's the end of my little thing. So my Flora is over and dusted.
Into the pit lane, and we'll move on to the strategy game. Looks like remember Saxon was fuel saving in that first stanza, and he was fuel saving. He went 2 laps further than everyone else out there, so his fuel drop's going to be significantly shorter than everyone else, and he's going to be on these warm tyres for a number of laps as well. So his opportunity will be to get through. Kurt Chapman's received a little bit of a hurry up and a touch up from John Trott. He will skate on through.
He's got to slow down. Chapman's got to slow down.
There's a slow car in Maggots and Beckett's as well. I was just hearing, but it looks like whatever that's cleared up. No, there is one actually.
Yeah, Brooks has got to slow down as well, so it ain't going to matter. He's got to try and get that off.
Will Buchanan's BMW is absolutely crawling down the hangar straight at the moment on his way to Stowe, and I believe that'll be... No, that would be old tyres. So he is just in on the pit lane.
Yeah, Buchanan there. That's going to have to...
He's an old tyre. Was an old tyre.
Gorage there as well. He's got to slow down currently. Tap and Chapman. Chapman's lost it somewhere. Because he's going down the order now as well.
Check something on the radio as well from Alan Coleman. He's ended up off the road. Edward Adcock and Owen Coleman have come together out on the racetrack, and it was an out lap for Coleman, and Adcock was on a hot tyre lap. So this will tell the story. So wide at Doe and offline and narrow at the entry to Maggots. So that would be Maggots, yeah.
We'll leave that one at the hands of the stewards, I think. On there, Gretsch is now in pit lane, Adcock's in pit lane as well, Chapman's in pit lane. All of these guys, final stop here with 25 minutes to go. This is where it's going to really tell us there's a penalty there. There is a penalty for Chapman. Yeah, Chapman's got some form of penalty on that one as well. I wonder if that was for not getting that slowdown off enough. And now he's got a penalty, Scotty, and that's an iRacing penalty, not an RC penalty.
Well, the other problem will be, is that a slowdown penalty or something entering the pit? Yeah, but I would say more to the point, you're probably more right on that one for Chapman.
Look at the timing tower. It is going nuts in that midsection. It's trying to pick up where everybody is. There's people on the exit. There's people on the way in. There's people trying to serve penalties. That middle table at the moment, man, we might as well give it at least 5 minutes before it even remotely settles down.
Well, Rue Koistra sitting in a reasonable spot at the moment. And these are the guys that have gone long on this stint as well. But the problem will be, we've only got about, by the time they have to pit, which will be in about this lap or the next lap, and pop back out the other side, we're going to have about 20 minutes left to run. It's 20 minutes enough time to get those tyres up to temperature if you need fresh tyres here. Jesse Butler's going to dive to pit lane to get his final stop of the race out of the way.
Butler's in, Rue's in pit lane as well.
He's going to be in there,
yeah.
Saxon,
I think Saxon should be looking in. Yeah, he might go through Saxon here.
Remember, he's been fuel saving, and Saxon was one of the drivers last season that was fuel saving at every opportunity. Did just hear another pit lane entry alarm.
Yeah, Butler, Rue, Saxon goes on into first place. Butler, Rue, Kadai, Composer's in. There's a lot of people in at the moment. Alan's still down there. He's having a battle with Hanlon. Brooks in there as well. He's gone in pit lane. Told you, 20 minutes, Scotty. We might have a better idea as Adcock got himself a slowdown and get off his slowdown. But yeah, about 20 minutes to go, Scotty, and we might actually find out what's going to happen.
That'll be the problem. Is, again, I think you're going to take a couple cars out of this one. Trent Allen. Well, Allen might have already actually made his final stop and decided that he's just going to fight his way back on through. And in fact, yes, he has made his final stop already as of 2 laps ago. So Trent Allen is correct in where he should be in the running order, down to 9th.
This is really throwing people all over the place, Scotty.
Matt Webber has
everybody is nowhere near where they should be. They've got 20 minutes to go. It's just a mix-up. Look at the elites further down with Adcock, Reardon, Latella, King, Gorringe, all out of position. It is just absolutely nuts that they've moved around so much. And we've got, I believe, it's Saxon leading the way with Trott, with Butler. You know, there's a lot going on here at this moment in time.
And worthwhile noting as well that I believe Alfonso Latella picked himself up a penalty on the way into pit lane, so he'll be sat in the pits for an extended period of time. Trent Allen is on, I would say, warmer tyres and trying to make his way through, gets the job done. Assisted nicely there by Martin Hallen, who just eases off, lets him by, and is still bringing those tyres back up to temperature.
Hallen just was like, nah, you're right, mate. Crack on. That's it. That's it. Has Rue had 2 pits share? He's had 3. He's had 3.
He's good to go. So yeah, Rue
so it's
positions.
just Saxon on 2, Greg Brooks on 2, and Nick Miller, I believe, as well. And yeah, a couple of others. Is it McMinimum's got 2 as well? So yeah, there's a couple of people still got pit stops left to go. Depending on how far they're going to go, with about 20 minutes remaining, as there Brooks is in pit lane as well.
And I will say, John Trott, I think, has got a pit stop yet to go as well. Although I believe he has stopped 3 times. I think he stopped under very, very early on in this race. So he should be in, I'm assuming, at the end of this lap. Because that's about as far as...
slowdown.
Yeah, that'll be important to that little battle pack.
He's got to let that get off, though. He's got to get it off, because if that turns to a black flag, well, Brooke Kadai, you've only gone and done that to yourself, sunshine. Butler would tap now as well. This is going to be a fight for the lead with Trott. Rue's in the mix at the same time. So 15-second penalty for Owen Coleman for lap 45, which is the one we saw, which was not a surprise. Let's be there on that one. So yeah, good mix of action going to happen for the last 19 minutes.
Yeah. Here we go. Waiting for the final round of pit stops to complete, and they aren't yet complete, but they just about are. Probably expecting Jamie Saxon will do one more lap before we'll expect him into the pits. And for the meantime, I would expect John Trott to be in the pit lane this lap, and that will cleanse him from that running order. And
yeah,
Jesse
he's the last
Butler
one,
has actually
isn't he?
made his final pit stop. So he's actually in a great spot as Jesse Butler. Yeah, and there goes John Trott in the pit lane now.
Yeah, Trott goes in. Butler's going to go through. Tap should go through. Saxon's not in a bad spot if he can get some form of gap over the guys in front with that 19 minutes to go. The question is how much of a gap is he going to have? He's got, I think that's touching 23 seconds. The problem is the pit lane time's a lot longer than that. So he's going to have to try and see where he can come out if he needs to go in and make it as short as possible.
Well, that's going to be the problem, isn't it? Greg Heaney is going to pick himself up a penalty. Winston at lap 46. I actually heard this one on the radio. He reported himself for that one as well, so sportsmanship on that. Thank you to Greg. Reported himself straight away.
Not many people would report themselves.
Well, it comes up in sportsmanship. I do it all the time. I'm one of those drivers where as soon as I know I've made an error, and oopsie, I want it reviewed. I want myself penalised. Because I'd rather have it looked at, have the slap on the wrist, than try and guilt trip my way out of it. That's just the way I go racing. It's always been the way I go racing. But that's what happens when you got parents who run things like this. So.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Me, on the other hand, I'm never normally in that situation, Scotty, where I need people to review me because I'm normally the one chasing the back end of everybody. So, you know, I kind of have to sit back and go, actually, I'm nowhere near anyone. And if I do make a mistake, I have to say sorry, because generally it's my blinking fault, to be honest with you. I'm a complete lemon when it comes to certain things. But Adcock, however...
You don't have those moments where you run out of talent you just never had new to begin with, isn't that the case?
Yes, mate. The thing is, I'm not even going to argue with you. Scotty, since I started sitting up here commentating and talking my blinking butt off, I don't barely drive as it is. I'm even struggling to drive once a week in an F4 league that I run, and I still can't get time to drive in it. So, you know, I'll just have to try and do the best I can, mate, with this at the moment.
Right, for the meantime, Adcock is on the recovery effort after the contact with Owen Coleman, and for now he's looking at Brock Kadai, who's also on a recovery effort. So it'll be interesting to see these two guys finally get an opportunity to have a bit of a go at each other.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where Adcock's going to lie in that Audi, to be honest, with Kadai in that Mustang. Kadai should be able to kind of use the top end of that Mustang to stay ahead, but again, you know, the Audi is very unpredictable in terms of what it wants to do, as Brooks got to slow down there as well. Keep an eye, make sure that doesn't go black. If it goes black, he's in trouble. But, yeah, Adcock going to have to try and climb all over the back of this Mustang, and he's going to have to try and do it more corners than he is going to have to be able to do it on the top speed, I think.
And he is starting to harass. Makes a little bit of a mistake in a wide entry to turn one. And Brock Caddo makes a mistake at 2, so albeit mistakes from both drivers, ends up net neutral in the end. Was the sausage curb on the inside unsettling the Audi?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. It doesn't take a lot to unsettle the Audi, to be honest with you. It's got to be one of the most precision cars that you've got to do here, because otherwise you're not going to get it right. Saxon's now in pit lane. Let's see where he comes out.
So that just leaves us with, I think, Matt Webber to give us a final stop. Everyone else should be done. So we're just waiting on effectively one more pit stop. Other than that, we know what the running order looks like at the moment. Nathan Tapp now dives to pit lane. He only pit a couple laps ago. So this is unscheduled. Did he not get enough fuel in the car? Something to want. Nathan Tapp should be staying out. He only just pit.
Yeah, Tapp shouldn't be in. Tapp should not be in pit lane at the moment, but clearly he is.
Well, that's going to elevate Rue Koistra back to P2 after all is said and done. And the problem for him, 3.5 seconds down the road, he's going to try and find Jesse Butler now.
The question is he going to be able to? I don't think he will. We've got, what, 14 minutes on the clock? Butler, Rue, Webber. I think that could be productively the top 3.
Tapp is going to rejoin down in 12th spot after what we're not sure, but what we are sure of is there's a Lamborghini rejoining the racetrack at this point in time. It'll be still in the background. Who was that? I think it's Nathaniel Coburn. Actually, it is the 727 yet again. It's destroyed for the second time. That's the second time that car has been destroyed. He is close enough to the track. You know, there's every opportunity. This is another safety car.
Depends what he does with it. If he can get it back to pit lane, then have a go, but it doesn't look like he is. He's just sat there at the moment. If there's safety car right at the end, this is going to be nuts.
No, he's been cleared. He's been cleared, so we will be okay. There will be no safety car as a result of that, and that's going to leave us with 12.5 minutes left of this race.
Yeah. It's going to be a straight fight out as well. Heaney, Adcock with Kadai. I think the front three of Butler, Rue and Webber are pretty much where they are. And is Gretsch going to take the Challenger win? That's going to be the question. Does he have fuel to get to the end?
Yeah, and that will be where he needs to get the head down and start making ground on the others around him. For Bobby Camo, can he chase down and pick off Jamie Saxon yet again? Because I don't think that Jamie Saxon would have had enough time to take a set of tyres in this one.
Composer's on the slowdown. Brooks has got a black flag. Didn't get that slowdown off quick enough then.
Composer's actually done a great job to recover all the way back to P10, and in fact second in class as well now for him as well, tracking down Adrian Gretsch. So this will be an interesting little battle. And John Trott's just in behind them. And worthwhile pointing out, Bobby Camo, which is this battle, he passed him once before, he's going to have to do it again as he finally gets back down the inside. This feels like deja vu as he runs down to Brooklands, and he'll tip it in. Gets the job done, gets to left field, but gets a nudge for his trouble. Can he hang on to the rear end of the Mercedes? Now, Saxon is trying to redress, and Trent Allen wants a way through. And they will go side by side, and Saxon is trying to redress it. Allen wants to take advantage of this one, gets alongside. In a stow. This really ends up going well. And Allen will back out, and status quo maintained.
Not for long. Not for long. In through Magnussen Beckett's. Okay. Allen thought better of it than going side by side with Saxon in through Magnussen Beckett's.
Friendly communication between the two drivers in the comms as well. Saxon apologised and Camo respected it.
Webber's pit lane. Webber's
going to dive to pit lane and jump himself back out of that order. So this battle now becomes for effective P3.
Yeah, Webber's in pit lane. That's going to open this up. If he can get in and get done and get out, this could be a four-car fight with Camo, Saxon and Allen. But is Webber going to be able to do it? Heaney's got himself a slowdown. He's got to make sure he can get that off as well. I think Webber's going to drop down behind these three. And there's going to be stuck there, 10-second penalty for Luke King on lap 51 for causing an incident. Allen's going to go through. It's a P3 battle for Allen, Saxon and Camo. Big dive on the inside from Allen. Does he manage to get through? No. Does he get close? No. Is he going to have to sit there again? Yes.
Going to get the driver on the other side, and he's covered off a little bit now too, is Jamie Saxon. Because now he's got a little bit of draft as well for Bobby Camo for the next couple of laps at least. Under 10 minutes now to go, which means we'll be in range of 4 to 5 laps to the end of the race. Lap times right around 2 minutes for our race leaders. Trent Allen, you just wonder, should he have gotten cheeky last lap with the attempted readdress, or successful readdress, I suppose, and got to take something out of it. That would have been his best opportunity to clear Saxon. Now he's going to get another opportunity as they get the run through. Joe gets alongside. He's going to nudge the Ferrari, and there is damage to the rear end of that car.
Ferrari's rear wing's coming.
And there it goes. It's gone around. And he's frustrated. He's annoyed with that one, is Saxon.
Saxon's lost the complete back end of that Ferrari. Oddly enough, he's only got the boot there sticking out. Everything else is gone. The rear wing's gone. The bumper's gone. It's all gone in a brief little moment of contact. Oh, but Saxon's not a happy boy.
Older prototype, doesn't it? The way that the rear end looks. But for now, Composer is caught Adrian Gretsch, and this is for Challenger class lead inside the final 10 minutes. 2 hours worth of endurance racing. It always comes down to these final stages, doesn't it? Strategy's played itself out. Kapotza's had issues. He's had to go from the rear end of the back, from about the 20th spot and caught his way back through. So this has been a great recovery drive. Can he just put the icing on the cake and get it done over Gretsch? Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Saxon there again, trying to get that car back, but I don't know why he's missed pit lane, because, yeah, he's missed it.
He's had no idea. He's missing the structure.
Yeah, God blimey, he nearly caused a big drama there.
He'd have no idea. He knows that it's deficient in the rear end, but that's about it for Jamie Saxon at this point in time. You'd have no idea that he would require a repair, and there'd be no one being able to tell him anything at this point in time. Slip it out with 6.5 minutes left on the clock. Gretsch leads Challenger. Great opportunity for him to cut his way through, potentially get a win in this one.
Composer's putting him under pressure though. Composer is putting him under pressure. Gretsch has got to hang on. He's got to literally get to grips with this and make sure he can stay in front. Composer's had his ups and downs. He's been up, he's been down, he's been back up again. So for Gretsch, big on the defense already, running that white line, now coming into the right-hander of Stowe, through he goes, take the curb in on the inside, good job, now he's looking for the run, but what's Composer going to be able to do in that Mustang?
And they're catching lap traffic of Matt McKemley as well at the moment, so they will very likely, the lap times that they're running, low 2-minute lap times, McKemley's in the 2:03s. So for him, he is going to get picked off in this very next lap, which is just another factor that these guys have to deal with. John Trott, after barely walking away from the scene of the last Saxon spin, struggles to catch back up to this little grouping of cars as well. And Trent Allen picks up the penalty for the contact with Jamie Saxon, which that's 10 seconds for that one.
But we had a funny feeling that was coming, so it's not really a surprise. But Gretsch now still trying to hold on as back markers in there as well. Composer's going to go through on a back marker. Definitely did go through, and now he's got Gretsch, and he had to go through there for Composer. If he didn't, he was going to be in deep trouble.
197 and 245 is Andrew Uden picking himself up a 25-second penalty for contact with Braden O'Loughlin on lap 53. So there's a few things on lap 53 as well. By the way, 34 incidents for race control, so greater than 1 every 4 minutes.
Ouch.
Not done yet.
Poor old race control, they've got a lot to contend with, haven't they?
Plus run a safety car, plus monitor the comms as well. So they've had a very, very busy night, but credit to them, with all those incidents on the board, they have got them chalked up, handled, penalties assigned. So it's actually not working out too poorly, all things considered. For what has been a dreadful night at the office, they've been efficient at it.
I wonder how many penalties are going to get carried over to get reviewed at the end of the race.
Well, they're clear. They've reviewed everything that's on that sheet at the moment. They are up to date.
Fair play to RC.
They've done a great job. That was the most recent incident called in was just recently handled. So they are entirely up to date, as is the opportunity to go down the inside. And Kapotza's going to rotate Gretsch off the nose. I think he's going to hang around. Yeah,
should do really.
Well, it's nose to tail contact, so he's going to pick up a penalty for it. So that is one that we're going to have to wait on and see a result from. And Adrian Gretsch will be annoyed because that is a race win that's gone begging. And the opportunity didn't really present itself for Kapotza, unfortunately.
He's got to stop and let him through. He can't.
He's only 5 seconds behind him.
He can't take the win like that. That would be a shocking way of winning the class. Can we get another look at it as well? Was he alongside?
No, there was never any overlap. But the question mark will be... Yeah. Question mark will be whether or not he was squeezed at the apex there, and I think we'll have a result on that one coming momentarily. We are coming up on grabbing the white flag. In fact, we've just gone through just recently, and I don't know whether or not we would have grabbed the white flag, so I believe we'll have this lap and one more. As we zero in on the battle between Trent Allen and Bobby Camo. And you know what? There'll be this lap and one more. I've just seen the flag stand, and there was no white flag displayed as of yet.
Yeah, there's not going to be long. I think Butler's going to take it. Rue's in behind it, but it's going to be Camo and Allen are going to fight it out. And is Capoza going to let Gretsch back through? 10-second penalty for Capoza. Well, he's going to lose it anyway, isn't he, really? Question is he, how close is he to 14 seconds back to Brooke? Should be Gretsch win, Capoza second.
Yeah, 10 seconds, that will change it. And it will effectively just revert those two places. So that penalty fits the crime, which is what we like.
Yes, we do, dear sir. Yes, we do. A punishment that reverses the results.
There is so many penalties on that sheet, by the way. I'm just taking another look at it. There's a fair bit in that. Race leader is going to come out of the final corner for Jesse Butler. He's already come through and claimed the white flag. So we are on the final circuit from Silverstone here tonight. Checkered flag not yet displayed. But Trent Allen continues to close in, and there it is. The white flag is in the air. One more lap left to run. Margin from Butler to Koistra is just over 6 seconds. Margin back to Camo, 15 seconds. So the front two have absolutely galloped clear, and there would have been another driver in that mix as well, which was Nathan Tapp. But unfortunately, a late trip to pit lane has cost him that opportunity.
Yeah, and he did the one thing that we said you didn't want to do, and that was get a splash and dash. And he got a splash and dash, and that's why he wasn't there. We told him not to, and he did anyway.
That late penalty come through for Jake Roberard at the moment from lap 56, so that'll add one more to the sheet. But for the meantime, Jesse Butler will make one more transition out of Stowe through Maggots, Beckett's, right to the left, and Chapel to the right. Then it's the run out and through the hangar straight. He'll have Stowe, Vale, and Club to go. And after 2 hours in a Porsche for Jesse Butler, after a long period of time, I think this will be his first ever win in the series, by the way. And remember a few hours ago, we were talking about average finish of 23rd. After starting consistently inside the top 10, for Jesse Butler, a course correction in terms of stats, so finally gets it right. And it's at Silverstone in Britain, with a 949 Porsche, gets the job done for HTS Racing.
Yeah, great job from Butler there as he comes over the line. Rue comes over the line in second. Camo's going to be in third. Caposa, I'd probably look at the fact you've got a penalty. It's going to be Gretsch's win in the challenges. He might be the first one over the line, but he ain't going to hold on to that.
And we'll watch for Luke Caposa, like you said, to come through, but it will be for P2, which means that Adrian Gretsch will be celebrating tonight. Not the way he would have liked to have finished it, but he will be awarded the victory after penalties have been applied. And for Adrian Gretsch, I also believe this will be his first victory from Silverstone as well. So round 1 from Season 2 2025, 6-2 first-time winners on the table, and they will be celebrating.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've taken a win for the first time in any series, you're going to be happy, especially here with this amount of cars. Don't forget, we started with 54 or 55 on the racetrack. So for these guys to take the victory with that amount of cars is an incredible job.
Confirmation for Jesse Butler. He's got 2 podiums, which are also his only ever 2 top 5s. So for him, that's the first time he ever gets it done in the championship. For Adrian Gretsch, this significantly defies his best finishing, his average finishing position as well, because he's going to finish inside the top 10. And there are penalties to a fair few of those cars inside the top 10 as well. So he's going to finish somewhere up around, I reckon, 6th or so.
Yeah, I think it's going to be giving RC time here, Scotty. Give them time to get this sorted out, because although we're going to bring out the results, I think the words of "these are unofficial" will need to come out, because we're not really sure where and what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. But for the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's race winner from Jesse Butler gets it done in the Porsche in the new era of GT3s. He will be over the moon about this one.
Yeah, stunning job from Jesse, to be honest. And he survived in a Porsche, Scotty. Something that you couldn't do.
Okay, get out, mate. Can I point out that even after the Porsche got away from me, I still managed the top 4, so we'll be over the moon with that one.
Well, yeah, good recovery, but, you know, didn't take the victory like Jesse did. Well done, Jess.
And I can tell you what, Adrian Gretsch is already copping it in the sim.
Hey, and he got to the end, he didn't even have fuel. He had enough fuel there.
We only gave it to him once throughout the broadcast. It was all about the fuel management.
Yeah, he's done really well. Well done, Gretchy, son.
But provisional race results are going to be on your screen here in a few moments without any of the penalties applied. So you'll get to see this one here. Jesse Butler gets it done from Rue Koister and Bobby Camo. I will have a quick look. I don't believe Camo is on the penalty list, which means I'm fairly confident those top 3 are fine to go in terms of the overall results. They will finish on the track where they were. Trent Allen receives a penalty of 10 seconds added to his post-race time, so there'll be some shuffling there. I believe Hallinan does have himself a 25-second penalty as well. So from here on out, the results will get messy, but this is how they cross the line out on the circuit. James Mason from John Trott. Matt Webber will also have penalties applied. We know that coming his way. Luke Capozzi did cross the line in 9th spot overall and win of the Challenger class. Adrian Gretsch will get promoted to that spot and that win. Nathan Tapp, curious what went on there, because that's a podium that went begging for Tapp this evening. Brock Caddy home in 12th. Great recovery effort from him. Sean Benici, that's actually one of his best drives from Benici in the Whiskey Business Racing entry. Up to 13th, Benjamin Brook, Greg Heaney, Mark Foster, Patrick Reardon and Jesse McMahon round out the top 18. Over the page, 19th for Chris Ruddle, good recovery drive from him. Gavin Simpson, Jamie Saxon deeper in the field down to 21st after that late pit stop to repair the damage and take the spare car on. Nick Clydesdale from Greg Brooks, Kurt Chapman, Matt Bakir, Jake Robillard, Brant Tucker and Glenn Jones, the first driver at 1 lap down, 28th spot. For me, we get into lap down cars. Stephen Mellis from 31st, Ronald Long, Alfonso Latello, Will Buchanan, Matt McCamley, and there's a long list of these guys, by the way. Ben Wilkes, Dale Atkins, John Lee, all at 1 lap down. Trent Stapleton is the first of the cars that end 2 laps down. Braden Lachlan, Glenn Hopkins, Phil Whiteman, Andy Uden, and Ben Gringe, all at 2 laps down. Out 3 and further back, Luke King, Owen Coleman at 4, Edward Adcock, Nick Bottrell, I believe were both retirements from this one. And from here, we definitely get into the retirements further on back. Tom Williams from Isaac Curtis after hardware failure for him. Leaf of Climate, Rick Provenzali, heavy contact with Nick Bottrell, preventing him from going any further. Chris Withers, Jared Williams, and Brendan Purcell to bring us to the rear of 56 cars that were entered here tonight. 56 cars made the session. How good is that for a series start?
Stunning field. That's an amazing start to this one as well. So fair play to them on that one. Shame everybody didn't get finished, but you kind of never was going to have everyone finished with this amount of cars, Scotty.
Yeah, this field, this size, this tire model, and the challenges that progressed. But we'll jump straight in and grab a chat to tonight's race winner. And Jesse Butler is going to be happy with that one. 2 previous podiums. Mate, we were discussing, I was actually flicking through and having a look at some of the race stats provided by the new Premier Endurance League website, actually, earlier on. Do you know your average finish was 23rd prior to tonight's race? I think that's a bit of stat correction.
I think, yeah, earlier last season, I think I won Sebring, but then got disqualified because I had changed cars. So I think that drops it down a little bit, but I was surprised by the 23rd, so start the new season off with a win, which was very lucky, but we'll take that.
Mate, in terms of things, finally get to keep one at this point in time, pending no post-race protests, and let me not tell you the steward's notebook was intense. But this was a challenging one. I think obviously getting caught on the wrong strategy, you guys were just a little bit further back when that safety car got called. The leaders were at pit lane entry at the time that it got called, so a little bit of luck. But hey, you were close enough to them to be able to take advantage as well, and that's what counted.
Yeah, 100%. Can't discredit Trent and Isaac and Matt. They were that first kind of stint. I don't know what they were like after that, but before that, they were super quick, and I honestly had nothing for them. But the safety car was really lucky timing, and just good timing for kind of us and really unlucky for them. And it's racing, so usually you either get one side of that coin, and we're just lucky that we're on the right side tonight to kind of not cruise to the win, because I had a bit of pressure throughout the race at various points, but it was good just to put in a race where no mistakes or anything like that, and just a good clean race. And yeah, it was good.
Mate, in terms of things, challenging race here tonight at Silverstone. Tyre wear, I get the feeling that was fresh tyres just about each and every time. Managing that cold tyre phase with the long loaded corners, it looked nearly as tricky as it was back at Spa just a few months ago.
To an extent, yes. I don't know what I've done with the setup, but cold tyres, there's only kind of the kink at the start of the lap on the very first lap on cold tyres that it was a bit of an issue, and the rest of the track was actually quite good. Felt connected and felt really safe. Obviously the pace wasn't there on that cold tyre, but once I got through that little kink, I knew for the rest of the lap I was safe on cold tyres. So it was pretty good, actually.
Look, I mean, that's one of the biggest things that you can do, though, is put a big statement down heading into the rest of the season. You know, we're off to the Bend, which is going to be another long loaded lap with challenging, tricky corners, particularly the late apexes. Are you expecting the Porsche to be strong there as well?
I think at the moment, honestly, it's going to be try to maximize where it's actually good. And obviously Trent, the reigning champion from last season, is in his Mustang again, so he's going to be difficult to beat every week. And obviously tonight he had the pace over me. I just had the luck. So hopefully we can kind of close that gap to those Mustangs at the front, and just kind of maximize on points and just keep collecting good points throughout the season, and we'll see where we end up at the end of the season.
Finally, brother, would you like to give any thank yous and shout outs to anyone that's helped you get that job done tonight?
I would. Massive thank you to Justin Quinn, my spotter. He does it pretty much every week that we've got a big race on. So massive thank you to him. Just always putting in the effort and just the time to be with me when I do these races. HTS Racing, those boys yeah, don't have to say too much about them. They're amazing. Great group of blokes. We've got a couple of sponsors, Specialist Sales, Harvey Norman, BuildLog, and Simrigs. Just thank you to those guys for the continued support. And just a little shout out to my indoor cricket team, because I got them on board to start watching some races. So thanks, boys. Just a little shout out to Onsong indoor cricket team.
Mate, congratulations. And what, batter, bowler? What's your preference? Keeper?
No, I'd stay away as far away as I can from the ball. So I'd field back there and just a bit of a battler with bat and ball. So we can see how we go. But also massive thanks to you guys in the broadcast and Premier Endurance League. I'm back again. You hooked me in the first season. So thank you. And you guys in the broadcast do an amazing job.
Mate, well, it sounds like your racing skills are at least better than your cricket skills, mate. Enjoy getting back out there and being an all-round wobbler on the cricket nets.
Thanks, boys.
Have a good one, brother. Jesse Butler takes tonight's race win in outright and the elite class. From here, we'll take one step down on the podium. We'll grab our second place finisher, driver the number 252, Rui Koistra, the man whose mother loves to watch. Mate, big shout out to Mum over there tonight, or is she toddled off to grab some more wine and hope that her watching doesn't bring you bad luck as it usually does?
Oh, no, it's always welcome to watch. It always brings me. She's my little good luck charm. I think the problem last season was that NSX, which really, really liked the fence. So happy that I can keep it on the road this time.
Mate, that McLaren seems to be doing you the world of good this season. Nice out there and pointing in terms of straight line speed. We're just chatting to Jesse about what pace and feel is going to be like, because we're off to quite a number of twisty turny tracks I think this season. And I was talking to a few of the pro guys actually on Friday night, and they said, look, if there was straight line tracks, straight line pace was worthwhile looking for, then we're picking the Acura over the McLaren. But you're feeling just a little bit more confident in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a little bit faster in the Acura, but too many mistakes last season. I just want to keep it on the road, and if you keep it on the road, you bank points. So that is the strategy. And thank you, safety car, by the way, today. That was mint.
Mate, just the timing on that one just worked out supremely for you. But look, next round out, we are headed off to the Bend. Have you done many laps at the new South Australian circuit?
Yeah, I put in, a few hours last week. Hated it, then loved it, and then I'm not sure. For a sprint track, I reckon it's mint for 2 hours. Oh, we're going to have jelly arms after that one.
Mate, that's certainly going to be a challenge. Who would you like to give a thank you and a shout out to for getting it done here for you tonight?
My mum, first of all. Thanks for watching. Everyone in race control did a superb job today. It was really, really professional. I thought it was really good. David, who's my spotter today, good to see him in the hot seat or the side seat, and looking forward to racing with him pretty soon as well. And you guys, you make us feel special.
Right. You do all the hard work. So the fact that I just get to sit here and yell at a race screen instead of getting out there and getting sweaty is never a bad thing, mate. Enjoy, celebrate this one, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for the Bend.
Awesome. We'll see you then.
All right. That is going to bring us to the end of the interviews. I don't believe we've got anyone else available here this evening. So round number 1 of Season 2 in 2025 for the Premier Endurance League GT3 Limited Series has been run and done. Jesse Butler gets it done. That's your race results for the elite standings as they finished out on the track. Reminder that there is some post-race penalties to come. Trent Allanan picked himself up one. Martin Hallinan absolutely has some. I believe John Trott and Matt Webber both have penalties to come their way as well. So look for Nathan Tapp to get promoted a fair few spots potentially as a result of that one. Also, don't forget your Challenger class standings as they cross the finish line as well. Remember, there's going to be a reversal to first and second spot. Adrian Gretsch is going to get the win over Luke Capozza. Sean Benici we currently have in third spot. Again, all of this is provisional in the final standings. That takes us through the conclusion of tonight's racing coverage. Reminder that we are back again for Premier Endurance League next weekend, but it is the Open Series that will take to Silverstone circuit in the GT3 category. From there, the next time we'll see you guys will be at the Bend for the Open category. They get to be the first ones to take to the track in anger. followed up by the 21st of September for the GT3 Limited Series. If you want to get in touch and be a part of the Premier Endurance League, don't forget to head along to the brand new website for the series, premierenduranceleague.com. That's where you can get all the info to join the Discord, join the series, and check out your driver's stats and results as well. For now, ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Butler's off and celebrating, and I might go and join him myself. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday nights.